Black technology, building a lightsaber starting from a graduation project. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 276 Action in Advance. On the other side, IBN and the three who jumped back carefully returned to the patrol post. Aziz asked in a low voice, "Captain, we were discovered as soon as we returned to the base." IBN pondered and replied, "No, Maliki has no reason to trick us." In the safe house before, several members of the team gathered around to discuss tactics. When the tactic was decided, the three patrolling team went to ask Maliki, "Will we be discovered?" After successfully whitewashing them, they broke into the enemy's interior and obtained information, which was a dangerous thing, especially when the black fog is involved. It is still sacrificed through the pentagram if one is not careful. The three of them change from hunters to prey, tied to the pillars and become sacrifices, then play big. Therefore, the three of them carefully and cautiously asked about this matter. Maliki bowed his head and felt it carefully, and said, "If it wasn't for the Phantom, they would have no problem. The mutants have said so, not to mention that three people are needed to provide internal information to help them. Everyone's interests are the same. This is also three people. Although they are afraid, they are still willing to help the lightsaber team. Take it easy, we just have the same attitude as before." "The same way?" Aziz asked in confusion. "What way did my previous attitude go?" "Pick up girls, as a single dog. You have vowed to give all beautiful single women a home." Saladin, who had been silent, learned to answer quickly. "Aziz, you're right, and I can't argue with that." "Then, I like to pretend to be B." Following his train of thought, Ibn asked uncertainly. The other two were stunned for a moment, then turned their heads and nodded solemnly. "Captain, you finally know what kind of person you are. After comparing with the two of you, I found out. It turns out that I am the most normal person." Saladin, who has a sweet tooth, made a final summary. "Gan, forget it. Don't get angry. The body is one's own, and the loss outweighs the gain when anger is broken." In the second half of the patrol, the three fully demonstrated their acting skills as he saw the beauties around him and approached him. "The difference is that, I used to be very arrogant, but now I can't let go, more or less. After all, before being transformed by mutants, it was a true performance, but now, with the pressure on life, the pressure is somewhat greater." So did the other two. The old classmates of the fruit shop felt that the process of Ibn pretending to be forceful today was not as smooth as before. The most bitter is Saladin. He never imagined that one day, when the performance of eating sweets is not perfect, it may bring his own life in danger. "Sweets are not as tasty as they used to be," I cried. The clown was actually me. Look at Aziz, who was approaching the beautiful woman, but he couldn't let go. But the man's true nature, when the beautiful woman and him developed further, the expression on the kiss was not ambiguous at all, even a little addicted to it. And Captain Ibn, as the other party became more and more in awe, also found the initial feeling only myself. "Gan, why is this sweet food bitter?" Hiss. The walkie-talkie on his waist began to make a sound. "Patrol Team 18. Did you find anything unusual?" Finally IBN spat out the watermelon seeds in his mouth and replied, "Patrol 18, no abnormality was found." "Okay." 5 minutes later, the patrol will be handed over, and the 18th patrol will return to the base immediately. "Clear." 5 minutes later, when the patrol was handed over, there was no strange expression on the other side. The three breathed a sigh of relief. The acting is perfect, just as the mutant Maliki said. If God hadn't come, no one would have seen the difference. Turning around, Ibn stopped looking at the two players in front of them. There are indeed many problems. Every patrol always wants to be less troublesome, but in essence, they, like themselves, were once the lowest inhabitants of East Afghanistan. I was used to being bullied since I was a child. If it wasn't for my firm will, I became God's chosen people. Maybe the starved bones on the roadside belong to the three of them. Although the dream is good, there is a day when you will wake up. Smoothing the folds on the uniforms of the two with his hands, he suddenly felt sad. Once the meteorite fell in East Afghanistan, the country was full of class conflicts. Today, the civilization on the meteorite has begun to fully invade East Afghanistan. Pentagram, offering, high priest, God, cure cancer, lead to eternal life. Either way, the country seems to have fallen into deeper abyss. So called technological evolution may be a deeper fall and the few people from the Dragon Kingdom really have a chance to save them. Ibn couldn't believe it, but he had to believe it. Captain, you, the two found the atmosphere a little heavy and couldn't help but speak. I'm fine, but I suddenly feel that after we became God's chosen people, we never left the abyss. The so-called improvement seems to be a deeper level of slavery. After smoothing the last folds on the two men's uniforms, IBN asked, do you remember what our mission was? Remember, tell me, find out the direction the patrol team is responsible for, where the meteorite is placed, how much firepower is inside the base, and roughly where it is deployed. When everything was said, Eben nodded, just remember, let's go to the base to report the news. Each patrol team, after completing its daily tasks, will return to the base to start reporting. Captain, you are members of my team, don't worry, I will make you alright. The waiting time is always long except for Wang Doyu, who has been alert. The rest of the lightsaber team is almost bored to the point of stardom after all. In the safe house that Su Zhao found, there is absolutely no need to worry about safety. I susted tates and agreed password. Yuan Farron hurried to open the door. There were 3 people standing outside. An orange cat. Quick, come in. After entering the room, he did not wait for other people to ask questions. Su Zhao, who was sitting on the orange cat's head, took the initiative and said, Professor Su sent me the biological virus that has been successfully developed and can be put into use at any time. Several people nodded. As expected from Professor Su's laboratory, teammates are really reliable. Then everyone turned to look at the 3 patrol teams standing beside them. The expressions of the 3 were a bit bad, and they almost showed their thoughts on their faces. What happened? Su Zhao asked. I think you should have acted sooner. Turning to look at the crowd, Ibn began to explain slowly. Chapter 277. What do you know? Ibn's words made the atmosphere of the scene tense, especially Maliki, who once rescued the 3 of IBN in front of the Phantom. He also twisted his butt defiantly, and when the Phantom came, the god woke up, and he, who was a mutant, was afraid that he would die miserably. Wake up, time is, today? Maliki asked while gulping. No, Pilbul didn't say anything. He just said that we should increase our guard and welcome the coming of God. Tell us everything you know. Okay. After sorting out his thoughts, Eben said, we followed what Maliki said, as if nothing had happened, and patrolled the way we used to. There were no surprises along the way, and the handover was smooth. Not long after entering the base, Pilbul held a meeting with the captain of the patrol team, emphasizing that the gods will come in the near future, so we must strengthen the guard force. After the disbanding meeting, our captain held a meeting, and I paid attention. When deploying defense forces, the north side of the base has the most firepower, and the more guard forces. The defense force on the south side is the weakest in all directions. The firepower in the north is mostly heavy firepower, RPG, Gatling machine gun, and a few snipers are also deployed. The position of the snipers is not clear. The place where the meteorite is located is roughly to the north, because the building on the north side of the defense blueprint is marked red, and the nearby patrol teams change every 5 minutes. As for the others, I'm not very clear. After all, my position is not high. After listening, Su Zhao stood up from the orange cat's head and said, Hey, young man, you have done a good job. This information can be of great use to us. Judging from Ibn's position, he was only the captain of a patrol team, and he knew that these general firepower deployments were already very strong. Lightsaber squads are different from normal infiltration squads. They also have a professional, Su Zhao. This guy was born for infiltration and information investigation. It's just the firepower of RPG and Gatling guns. It's not impossible to just pass. Maliki and the patrol team of 3, listening to Yuan Farron murmur, their area a little messy. What is just and can be hard just passed. There are only 4 of you. Although the lightsaber is very handsome, it is a bit too underestimated, in the eyes of the 4. All of this is really nothing more than that a lightsaber can't do massive damage, but they have blasters. Can the firearms products developed by Professor Su be bad? Some time ago, when they left, they got the approximate lethality level and power of the blaster. The blaster known is below the missile. The gun is invincible is no joke. Even if there is a tank, it can be directly scrapped with one shot. 4 people and 4 blasters, all adjusted to the 3rd energy scale. Shot them out the first time, it can cause heavy damage to the guarding force in the north. Maybe RPG, all kinds of grenades will cause secondary explosions under the faint blue light, even if the opposite side reacts. Organize the force to counterattack. Yuan Farron also has a defensive artifact in his hand, the ion energy shield. After activation, It can absorb damage when surrounded by multiple firepower. Moreover, it can also rebound damage after taking saturation damage. The only thing to worry about, snipers hiding in the dark. Shields are not for everyone in the dark. If you haven't found a place to hide, you will be killed. Turning his head, Yuan Farron asked Su Zhao, "Can you find the location of the sniper?" When he asked this sentence, Su Zhao understood, "I need a little time, so let me go and organize the attack now. When I find the approximate position of the sniper, you will organize the attack." Yuan Farron didn't talk nonsense. Su Zhao can control all creatures with his deterrent power. This time, with the help of Professor Su's biological virus, it will definitely speed up the progress of the offensive. Apart from those firepower, what are the general capabilities of your patrol teams? Under the right of the pentagram, becoming the chosen people of God is not an easy task. The person standing in the middle of the pattern needs a strong willpower. After persevering, not only will the status increase, but it will be recognized by the upper class. They themselves will gain different abilities under the erosion of the black mist. As far as I know, the abilities can be roughly divided into several types. Black fog can form armor on the body. This type of person has a strong ability to fight, and it is often the kind that acts as a meat shield. Their weaknesses: at the neck, cutting the neck with a sharp knife will cause irreparable injuries, and as far as I know, your lightsaber can cut the neck. Yuan Farron nodded, indicating that he was clear, and motioned for him to continue. Those like me belong to the power type, and the black mist can turn our hands into different weapons, and we will all have a thin black mist lingering around us, and this kind of black fog can resist bullets. Our weakness lies in the shoulders. Speaking of which, the lightsaber squad said it was very clear because the hands of the three of them in the patrol team, the lightsaber team, have all cut off. The last one is that the black mist lingers around the legs, which can increase the speed. This type of people, their most suitable place is assassination, and their weakness is between their legs: meat shield, attack, assassination. In 3 ways, all types are all alive. It's only been a while, but for a team that has begun to take shape, if you give it some time to develop, maybe God's chosen people with amazing combat power have really been created. Oh, by the way, when you are injured, you can be healed by the black mist. Through Su Zhao's translation, Yuan Farron asked this sentence because he thought, when they cut off their hands, the 3 of them just passed out, did not die directly afterwards. The black mist continued to heal. New hands grow. Iban's face twitched, and he thought of the scene where his hands were removed violently. Yes, we won't die immediately. After becoming the chosen people of God, we also gain the ability to heal through the black mist. It just consumes life force. To put it simply, the concentration of black fog will become rare. If you suffer another heavy blow at this time, you will die. Oh, I understand. Yuan Farron nodded. No, what do you know? Iban looked at the eyes of the 4 members of the lightsaber team, a little confused. Thank you, Eugen. Chapter 278 Fighting. As for what the 4 members of the lightsaber team knew, it was not impossible to say at this time. The 4 of them all thought, since you will use the black mist to treat your injuries, then I will make up for it with another knife. How to make up for it? The lightsaber won't give you the answer. The blaster gun around our waist will give you the answer. The faint blue light has always been the best choice for physical transcendence of others. Then what ability does the person in charge of your base have? Sacrificial. What ability Pilbul has? We don't know. Iban shook his head. It's okay, thank you. You have provided a lot of information. Su Zhao translated Yuan Farron's words through the walkie-talkie. For now, all they need to do is waiting for Su Zhao to give them the offensive signal. Every city has a sewer system, and different cities have different sewer systems in some people's minds. The drainage of sewage is not a big place, and only those who have actually entered the urban sewer system know that it extends in all directions, forming a staggered sewage discharge network. A huge pipeline runs through the north and south, and even small motorcycles can run at full speed at this time. Su Zhao was sitting on the orange cat's head, and a lot of animals were standing behind Su Zhao. The atmosphere was chilling. Like an army standing still. I can't control the creatures in the direction of the research center. I called all the creatures in a radius of 10 kilometers. These days, the competition between the underground forces is far more tragic than what the lightsaber squad on the ground did. Every inch of progress was made with blood. Su Zhao was stuck near the safe house for a long time. If, aside from the healing array, Su Zhao, who came out of the laboratory, could perfectly crush the opponent. The substances transformed by the mythical biological enzymes are far more powerful than Xu Teng imagined. Just like the underlying logic, it subtly affected Su Zhao. Those animals influenced by deterrence are also completely loyal to Su Zhao. The overall performance is, if they don't get Su Zhao's order, They will fight to the end. Poisonous scorpion. Its double pincers were bitten off, and it rammed with its body. Wildcat, with broken feet, bites with teeth. As for the mice that belong to the same family and genus as Suzhou, they directly use human sea tactics to pile them up. The pipes that used to run through the north and the south are full of half-dead creatures. Suzhou also thought about whether these would block the path of attack. Result: the opposite is directly hung up, and a healing ray engraved with a pentagram is used just as Xu Teng had guessed. The opponent dragged back the dying creatures belonging to Suzhou's camp, unleash a healing ray to heal their severely wounded creatures. So, the final result was that Suzhou had fewer and fewer subordinates and had to expand his search radius, incorporates more remote creatures into its alignment, and the most annoying point is, the healing circle of the creature is much more difficult than the sacrifice of the pentagram. Suzhou can't draw. Maid, you've been hanging up for too long, affecting the balance of the game. This time, let your father teach you how to behave. Reaching out, he snapped his fingers. The leaders of a certain camp behind him all stepped forward and walked to Suzhou's side. Suzhou took out a bottle of blue potion from his arms, which is the biological virus, developed according to the experimental plan sent by Xu Teng. Unlike the traditional biological virus, the blue potion will not cause any damage to the creature itself, not even a little bit. It only targets healing circles with pentagrams. The specific performance is as follows: species carrying biological viruses become the objects of sacrifice in the healing array at the moment of death. Wriggling creatures appear in the blood. It will be embedded in the pentagram when the light begins to expand from the pentagram, passing through the wriggling creatures. The virus and the underlying logic will infect the entire pentagram and then enter the organism through the light, so as to replicate the gene and play the role of the underlying logic. The creatures treated by the pentagram are regarded as enemies, and the creatures with Suzhou's breath are regarded as allies. This is what Professor Xu developed. Yours works well, but it will be mine in the next second. As for why it is used by the leader of the species, the reason is it is always at the forefront, the leader of the species, who is always in the most dangerous position, and the younger brother of whose species will give his life to save. Please, every time Suzhou fed the blue medicine into their mouths, he would say something like this: as the leader of the lead, the task is very arduous to find out the approximate location of the sniper. To ensure the safety of the lightsaber squad, to disturb down with all the dark lines of the forces, so that their actions will not be exposed. If Suzhou fails in this battle, the 4 lightsaber team plus the mutants, and the patrol team that just surrendered, all will die. Squeak, wang wang wang. Every leader is replying, telling Suzhou, just leave it to us. Watching the blue potion gradually disappear in their bodies, when there was no difference in appearance, Suzhou pressed his hand and all the creatures were quiet, listening to the information conveyed by the bat. Suzhou waved his hand and said quickly, Poison Scorpion Group, Battlefield number 3, hurry up. The poisonous scorpion, who was standing beside Suzhou originally, rushed forward with a ta-ta-ta. Wild Dog Group, Battlefield number 1, don't care about the number of guards on the opposite side, give enough pressure to rush forward. Wow wang wang. When the black dog with black fur and scars on its forehead barked, all the personnel followed it and ran. Bat Group, turn on the ultrasonic frequency to the maximum, provide accurate information to all troops, and disrupt the detection of the opposite side. With Suzhou's order, half of the troops all rushed out. After dozens of seconds, different sounds came from the huge sewer pipe. This is not the first time the two sides have fought each other in the boiling water of the sewer. Life and death happened in every battlefield, and the blood of the living beings was flowing. The double pincers in the hands of the poisonous scorpion have become dull. This is because they have been used too many times in a period of time. The snow-white teeth in the wild dog's mouth have long been scarlet, and there are even other creatures' hair in the mouth. In a few minutes, the injuries on the black dog increased a lot on the legs, on the stomach, and even on the head, and next to it lay a little brother who only released more air than air intake. These were the little brothers who rushed up regardless of life and death. When it was surrounded, anger erupted from the bottom of its heart. Like a long sleeping volcano, he lowered his head to avoid the opponent's bite, stepped on the ground with his front paws, and slammed the wild dog with a pentagram on his body. The blood in the mouth began to pour back, and the eyeballs became scarlet due to congestion. Stand upright, lift your head up, and take a breath facing the front. Woohoo! Chapter 279. The first line of defense is torn. Hearing the established signal, Suzhou, who was sitting on the orange cat's head, waved his hand and said, Quick, keep up. In the legion behind him, a group of humming wing flapping sounded instantly. Now the underground forces in Bam City have formed a clear distinction. On one side are the attackers headed by Suzhou, and on the other side are mysterious creatures headed by meteorites. The normal detection method, of course, will not work. The army of flying insects sent out may be wiped out soon after takeoff, not to mention detecting the positions of various defense forces and snipers in Bam City. Only by disrupting the enemy's deployment can the teammates sent out can go deep into every corner. The cry just now was the signal for the second action. With the wave of Su Zhao's hand, the army of flying insects that had been waiting for a long time flew out from various positions in an instant. Some took off from the underground pipeline and entered the ground, and the moment they just went out, they scattered and flew away. Bees, ants, even the patrol team would not notice it. Their task is to find out the various patrol teams and the location of the hidden snipers. Others have penetrated huge sewer pipes from all sides in just a few seconds. He had come from the rear to the battlefield in front. Venomous tongues are scattered on the ground, hair is flying, blood is everywhere on the walls of the pipes. In the first head-to-head confrontation, neither side would give in. There are dying creatures lying on the ground everywhere. Because it attracted too much attention, both sides suffered heavy casualties. Even if a creature noticed the army of ants and insects above, it would not have too much blocking power. Cuckoo cuckoo, with a shout, the remaining strength of the opponent began to gather, and some creatures who were not seriously injured even began to slap the dying black dog army. This is the reason why Su Zhao has been defeated repeatedly. The sacrifices that make the healing circle work have never been required. Pen Fun Library as long as it's biological. This is also the reason why Su Zhao has always hated the opposite side. How can you treat your wounded well by using the enemy as a sacrifice? Moreover, the two sides are not fighting once or twice. How much is clear about the routine between each other? Cuckoo cuckoo. As the cries quickened, the hand speed of the living creatures continued to increase. Boom dong dong. Even across the long sewer pipes, they had already heard each other's charging sounds. It's time to pull them back and forth as offerings. But the actual situation is, those dong 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 are the sounds that it instructs the little brother under his hand to make deliberately. The show must be done enough, and we are very anxious to restore the psychology of our subordinates. At the same time, the black dog, the leader, was also howling and breaking free in this way. It shows that it is not willing to die like this. Bang, pop, a strong monkey stepped forward, took the wrench in his hand and knocked on the black dog. Jijijiji. The black dog understood what the monkey on the other side said. Don't bark, you're going to die anyway, it's better to use your life. Although he was dizzy after being hit by that wrench, he kept sneering and said a cuckoo cuckoo. The magic dove standing next to it urged the younger brothers to stand in the healing circle engraved with the pentagram. Actually, it has a little dub. Twi is the movement on the other side so slow today, it's been a long time, and it hasn't rushed over yet. Is the pipe too clogged? Slow down their movements. Forget it, forget it. If you don't come, it's better, it's a free offering anyway. The eyes of the magic dove shone with the brilliance of wisdom. Just like the chosen people of God, other creatures can also awaken other abilities if they can withstand the bonus of living sacrifices. It has several soul tattoos on its body, which is the source of its control over the souls of other creatures. The light flickered, and the dying creatures gradually turned to ashes. The magic dove turned its head and looked around. Just like before, the light appeared, and the creatures on the other side turned to ashes. At this point, a mutation arose when the light covered the black dog. A blue creature emerged from it. The tiny creatures wriggled and stuck to the top of the light, unable to get rid of them no matter how much they were thrown at the same time. They kept spreading at a fast speed like a plague. It swept all over the place where the light goes. They come. The magic dove standing aside was stunned, thinking of the series of dong 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 sound, but nothing rushed out to save them. Wisdom's eyes fell into confusion, and then woke up in labor and capital. The motherfucker was played by that little white mouse. Nemas, even using a plugin, can't afford to play cuckoo cuckoo. The magic pigeon screamed, warning the surrounding creatures to leave the healing ray immediately. But this time, no younger brother obeyed its instructions. Everyone fell into a sluggish situation. Their eyes were blank, and the blue light began to sweep over all the men. At the first moment, everyone was confused and struggling. Over time, the complexion gradually changed, determined, angry, hiss. For the younger brothers in the pentagram, black mist began to emerge from their bodies. The magic pigeon was stunned. This was the method it used to control so many younger brothers now being excreted from the body. Oops, a capital letter, dangerous, appeared on the head of the magic dove. Flop, when it just spread its wings and was about to fly, it was thrown to the ground by the wildcat beside it. The magic dove was so anxious that it shouted, cuckoo, cluck, hey, hey, dear brother, we are on one side, don't get excited, meow meow meow. The feral cat slapped it directly and baited at it, who is on the horse's side with you, and the means by which you control us. I still remember it clearly. 3, 2, 1, when Su Zhao finished counting the countdown in his heart. There was a howling sound from the pipeline ahead. It became, when biological viruses are infected through the healing array, the underlying logic will make them return to the wild at that moment. The specific performance is, howling, rush. Su Zhao clapped the orange cat's head under his hand and urged the subordinate who received the order strode up and ran. The last half of the legion creatures left behind followed Su Zhao. The first line of defense underground has been torn for the other party. The healing array has lost its effect, of course. This is not the worst. The hardest part is, friendly troops strengthened by the healing array began to become their enemies. The walkie-talkie on the lightsaber team's waist rang. Chapter 280 Enemy Attack. Yuan Thirin, who had been holding the walkie-talkie, quickly pressed the call button before he could speak. He heard Su Zhao shouting, "You can act now. The first line of defense has been torn by me, and the underground of Bam City has been completely chaotic." After finally waiting for the desired news, Yuan Thirin said with a smile on his face, "Okay, you pay attention to safety." From the walkie-talkie, there was the sound of hu hu hu, as well as a series of howling sounds. Su Zhao, who was sitting on the orange cat's head, shouted loudly, "Don't worry, who am I? Labor and management." But Professor Su sat down as the strongest biological warrior, and also held a biological virus. Today, even if God comes, the underground of Bam City will belong to his grandpa Su, and I will take care of it. Usually, everyone thinks Su Zhao is crazy, but now, that tone is inexplicably reassuring. It's obviously a guinea pig who came out of Professor Su's laboratory, and it actually makes us a little at ease. "Okay, we will take care of the ground in Bam City today." Yuan Thirin turned off the walkie-talkie, turned to his teammates and said, "Let's go." "It is good." The patrol team 3 and Maliki also followed before performing the task. Su Zhao briefly taught some action words. They had brief task exchanges with each other, and there was no problem. "Quick, this way." I'd been greeted everyone, and the others immediately followed. Although the sewers of Bam City have been turned upside down, it seems that nothing has happened on the ground because the general route of the patrol team and the corresponding time have been known for a long time in everyone's plan. Avoid all fights that can be avoided as much as possible. The pentagram pattern has been lit up. Time is the most important thing. I've been opened the way in front, and the others were separated by a distance. Stop and go, and every time you stop, you can hear the voices of the squad not far away several times. IBN took the initiative to stop and talk to them. This made Liu Born's hand holding the lightsaber clench tightly and then loosen it after several times. My palms were all sweaty. Yuan Thirin gestured for people to follow. The lightsaber team has undergone professional training and did not make any unusual noises along the way. Even the stepping point of every step is to keep up with the 3 of IBN's patrol team. Originally, everyone was worried about Maliki. After all, he became a mutant soon, but when he turned his head, Liu Born was taken aback. He walked without making a sound. From the side view, the whole figure was almost blending into the night. "You'll go? The mutants are so rude. But envy hurts me if you don't know the origin of the mutants. You need sacrifices to sacrifice." Liu Born couldn't help but want to be like him. When he turned around and was about to leave, Maliki pulled Liu Born. "What?" Liu Born, who almost fell, was a little unhappy. "Although, I know you are a mutant, but for now, the task is still the most important." Maliki didn't see the anger on Liu Born's face, and pointed his fingers around. "What happened to you?" Before he could finish speaking, he was stunned because the attention is always on the task. The nerves of the whole person are tense. No one paid much attention to the surrounding environment. Maliki, who is a mutant, is different from everyone else, especially in another dimension. In front of God, he rescued the 3 of IBN. The most familiar thing is black fog. With the direction of Maliki's finger, Liu Born realized that the black mist filled the entire street. The action time at this time was night, and under the night, no one noticed the black fog coming out. "What is this?" Liu Born was stunned. The next second, I reacted, took out the walkie-talkie and whispered, "Captain, I have a situation report." Although Liu Born usually speaks out of tune, but when the task is going on, don't speak unless it is necessary. "I still understand this discipline." Yuan Thirin frowned and asked, "What's the matter?" "Hurry up and say, Captain, we are in the dark fog, and the concentration is starting to get darker." "In the dark fog." Others didn't respond. "You all turn around and look." Liu Born, who was a few meters away, didn't respond, and reminded aloud. After all, he didn't find out at first, until Maliki of the mutants reminded him. Although it is night, the visibility is not far. However, it is not difficult to distinguish the environment from black fog, especially since the concentration of black fog is still increasing. "Gan, it's really black fog." "When did this happen?" "I don't know." Maliki reminded me, Liu Born explained that when everyone was stunned. Lightning exploded in the sky. It was followed by the sound of rumbling thunder. It is going to rain. When the team carried out the mission, they knew all the weather conditions today: sunny, no rain tonight. But how long has it been out? The weather has changed. Look, heaven. Following Liu Born's reminder, everyone raised their heads. Every lightning flash illuminates the sky, and where the clouds begin, a tall, fuzzy silhouette begins to appear. Just watching, panic appeared in the hearts of the lightsaber team, and they wanted to bow down and worship. It's him, Maliki exclaimed. He, God, Gan, when Maliki brought the three of IBN out from another space. Suja once translated what he said to a phantom: the only difference is this, even a blurred background can be a deterrent. Fuck, we have to speed up, we can't go on like this. Yuan Farron cursed because Su Zhao is developing a position in another battlefield. They have not encountered obvious resistance so far, but if it goes on like this, it will be too late. Just a phantom can act as a deterrent. Not even looking directly at it. If God really descended completely, wouldn't it really be a complete calf walk? Ibn, who led the way, didn't care about this, and directly accelerated the speed of leading the way in the darkness. Several people were running wildly, turning around an intersection. I met the patrol team. Stop, who are you? In the face. Yuan Farron couldn't understand the screeching words, and he didn't want to explain. Pull out the lightsaber directly and activate it. Going forward is a slash, and the three-person team behind them do the same. The patrol team blocking the way was stunned, and before the two had time to introduce the black mist into their bodies, they were cut open by the lightsaber. As soon as the other person completed his transformation, Maliki punched him in the face and took him away. Maliki, who has greatly increased his strength, is weaker than himself. It's always been a one-shot kill. Hiss. Black mist appeared from the opposite body, all of which were inhaled by Maliki. But the open walkie-talkie has already delivered the message: enemy attack. Thank you. The elders of the bombing gang. Crazy God's gift of a different kind of emperor. After the Song Dynasty. Chapter 281. Listening to the voice coming from the walkie-talkie, the expressions on everyone's faces were tight. Investigate the route of the patrol team in advance, know the approximate patrol time, and make preparations just to sneak in without knowing it. After all, lightsaber squads have big jobs to do. Blow up activated meteorites in the eyes of the favored, chosen people of God. This is a mortal sin. They finally climbed out of the bottom. How could they be willing to return to the soil? Run, run, Eben shouted loudly. Everyone reacted and ran after him without looking back. Compared with the initial calm, when the information was transmitted, the black mist around him seemed to come alive at first. Everyone in the team didn't pay much attention. After all, it's just a black fog. It's not like they haven't seen it. During the sacrifice ceremony of the pentagram, the black fog had gone away, and it could not hurt anyone. But until Yuan Farron, who was running, saw the black mist in front of him, sinking to the ground and forming a shallow pit, he didn't pay attention, and staggered. This is real. Black mist can change terrain. Looking at the black mist that began to pour in around him, Yuan Farron felt a chill in his heart, aloud to remind his teammates, everyone be careful, these black mists can change the terrain. Oops. Not long after he finished speaking, Liu Boran, who was behind him, was about to fall down by that shallow pit. Fuck. It's really okay, I almost fell into this pit when I stepped on a horse. Turning his head, he was about to remind Maliki behind him, then I saw an astonishing scene, the latter, walking directly over the shallow pit. For him, there is no shallow pit, and it is not the same flat ground as before. Liu Boran, what's going on? This black mist is treated differently. So, he started to remind with his throat, the effect of the black fog changing the terrain is only effective for us. For them, it has no effect, no effect. Not far in front of Yuan Farron, there was another shallow pit, and the three of IBN were walking on the ground. Gan, isn't this purely bullying outsiders? Just as the team of four were concentrating on avoiding various roadblocks, the sound of bang bang came from behind. Dog, lightsaber squad of four, nothing would have. Feeling the three IBN, who were running in front, trembled imperceptibly. The objects blessed by the pentagram are not only human beings, but also have a blessing on other creatures. Different creatures have different effects of blessing, and the dog bark heard is the magic dog after being added by the pentagram. The most important point of being stronger than ordinary dogs is not here. It has the effect of tracking. In particular, these human beings who have been boosted by the black mist can be bitten to death at a super long distance if you keep running, let alone hide your shadow. Even getting rid of them is a dream. He turned his head and looked at the few people behind him. Eben is complicated. Once, it was difficult to have a position that others could look up to, but in the end, It was discovered that God's chosen people were not redemption but fell into another abyss. The few people behind them are obviously not very familiar, and they are all foreigners, but, from all aspects of the situation, it seems that he is more suitable than him to save this terminally ill country, especially the last one. Mutants. 1 in a million existences. They can enter another dimension and rescue the 3 comatose people in it. He is the kind of person who can look directly at the gods and get out of the way. Unlike me, I don't even have the strength to get rid of the demon dog riding horses. Why are you so useless? Thinking that being God's chosen people will change a lot in the end, it turned out to be a dream. He jumped back and became a traitor. Obviously, I also want to live forever. Iben, who is running, stopped. Yuan Farron and the others behind him immediately turned around and hurriedly asked, "What's wrong?" "North." Ibn pointed to the north, and he pointed to the dog barking from behind the black fog, and said simply, "I'm coming." Yuan Farron was stunned, then realized something. After all, they are not people who have been strengthened by the black mist, and they do not know the specific situation. However, Suja once said roughly, the pentagram's healing array not only has a healing effect, but can also strengthen the creature in another direction. Presumably, the dogs chasing none stop behind him must have been strengthened by the pentagram IBN. In order to stop them, it was decided to cut off several people, and the lightsaber team changed their expressions a few times, and then Yuan Farron gritted his teeth and said, "Go, north." After this period of rapid marching, they were already able to see a tall building in the distance that is their destination. The lightning in the sky became more and more frequent, and through that moment, it was like daylight, and everyone also recognized the buildings marked in red. The other people followed behind Yuan Farron, but when passing by Iben, he would say something in the language of Longo, "Take care," looking at the team members passing by one by one. Iben scolded with a smile, "Damn, why are foreigners, even the last words of farewell? I can't understand what they are saying. You can't even say something handsome." Before he could finish speaking, he was picked up. "Ha ha ha, Captain, you are still such a stinky fart." "That's right, when we flattered you all day, you had a smug expression on your face." Tisk tisk tisk. Iben was stunned, looking at the 2 team members who stayed by his side in shock. "What are you doing? Hurry up, people will die." The sound of wang 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 was getting closer. Chaotic footsteps could also be heard. No matter from any aspect, it is a reaction. There are many people on the opposite side. "Captain, you also know that people will die, so why do you have to face the demon dog alone?" "Because," I said, "as long as I live, I must ensure your safety," Iben said anxiously. "That's it." Saladin and Aziz looked at each other, and then the black mist surged, and their hands began to transform into weapons. The body began to wear a thin armor. He turned his head and said seriously, "However, we have never promised Captain what you said." "That's right. How can I teach Captain Iben to perform all the things that are handsome? Look, our ability to mobilize has been enhanced a lot. I can still wear the black mist into armor." At this moment, looking at the 2 of them, they thought of the patrol they used to be, and they just wanted to be lazy. Of course, as the captain, he never did it seriously. Like, not everyone is hard-working and responsible, but why this time, he had to take his life on the line. Chapter 282. Control the overall situation. After the lightsaber team left Iben, although there was no trouble of being chased for a while, they felt a little uncomfortable in the information that Suja gave them. Several people saw the information of the 3 patrol team. Aziz, single dog, never in love when I was a child. Because of the family, I was not less excluded. Later, I became God's chosen people, and my identity came up. Whenever I met a beautiful woman, I would always wear a uniform and approach her. Saladin, the family is poor and has never eaten anything delicious with a status symbol. The salary is also high, and the only hobby is spending in the dessert shop in East Afghanistan. Desserts are a luxury, and their captain, Ibn, he has been bullied since he was a child and is often subjected to domestic violence. This is why he designated the fruit shop of his classmates to his patrol area after he became the captain. It is an important reason to go to patrol every day. A few days ago, when Yuan Farron and the others saw the profiles of the 3 for the first time, they couldn't help but sigh. Some people, even if they were given a chance, didn't know how to fight for it. What did they do when they got the power? It's just the mud that can't hold up against the wall. But who knows? A few minutes ago, Ibn, who was running in front of them, paused and said, "Go, Madeline." He is obviously a person who can't even do a good job of patrolling. Why did he suddenly have the power to resist the gods? They are about to come. I also believe that these strange foreigners have only been together for a few days. Just a short sentence. Still so chic. The few people running have been silent all the time, and the atmosphere is a little dignified afterwards. Liu Boren couldn't help but said, "Captain, the three of them will die, although the three of Ivan are unreliable. Compared with other patrol teams, their combat effectiveness is higher but just a little higher." Facing the siege of all the patrol teams and the inexplicable dog barking behind him, that's not just death, it's simply that the whole corpse can't be left behind. "I know," Yuan Farron interrupted what he wanted to say next and continued, "the pentagram invasion has reached a terrifying level. Even as a stranger, he is willing to believe us. The Lord of the Way leave it to us, and take the initiative to cut off the back road. How can we let them down? What about God's coming? This time, we are here to kill it at the order of Professor Xu, even if the lightsaber and blaster gun in our hands cannot open the position. Don't forget the experiment that Professor Xu is doing, that's our trump card." The heavy atmosphere was swept away, and every change in history was accompanied by bloodshed and head-scratching. The Dragon Kingdom is like this, and so is East Afghanistan. The three of IBN took the initiative to cut off the back road, just believing with their strength, they can't play a greater role in the future battlefield, and if no one is willing to sacrifice, the entire team will be killed. It's not a pointless sacrifice. It's just passing on hope to them. A single spark can start a prairie fire. Pen Fun Library. The dark fog around him is getting thicker and thicker, the lightning in the sky is getting more and more frequent. And every light will light up the surroundings like day. It is because of this that the lightsaber squad members have been able to stay in the general direction. But now, as the thunder continued to rumble, and the phantom above was constantly condensed by the light of lightning, the team felt that something was wrong. It's been like this. It seems that they haven't even touched the location. Everything is coming to an end. "Captain, what should I do?" Liu Boren was a little anxious. He can do it if he activates his lightsaber to perform a mission, but if you say, let him think of strategy, somewhat embarrassing. So, a few people stopped and began to think about ways, just as Yuan Farron was frowning and thinking. Wang Doyu pointed around and said, "Captain, they have been following us. Follow us. I ran too fast just now. The black fog was thick, and I didn't pay attention to the surrounding situation now." After Wang Doyu's reminder, I noticed that there were more flying bugs around the few people. There are still a lot of them, and they circle around them the next second, with all the bugs lit up. "Firefly, why they follow us, and many more." Firefly. Yuan Farron remembered what he had asked Su Zhao before they carried out their mission. "If the situation changes, what if we can't find the target?" "Don't worry, this young master has already planned everything. As the top detective, you should trust me." It turned out that this was Su Zhao's plan. Praise Professor Su. "Quick, this is arranged by Su Zhao, we just need to keep up with him." And the Firefly seemed to understand this sentence, lit up, and flew in another direction. The crowd followed suit. An idea began to pop up in my mind. Su Zhao, who is fighting for territory underground, how is it now, compared with the previous days? Su Zhao at this moment is like driving Wushuang underground. Big kill. Biological virus. There are 2 points of greatness. One point is that when the healing array is activated, through the contamination of the healing array, with the light of the treatment entering the organism, all organisms can be infected with a virus. It is disturbed and formed under the underlying logic. All creatures with Su Zhao's breath are my companions. All creatures healed by the pentagram are my enemies. At the same time, they all listen to Su Zhao's orders because, when Xu Teng was designing, he defined Su Zhao's underlying logic as the host, and other underlying logic as the slave machine. Unconditionally obeys the master machine. Another great thing is that biological viruses have all the characteristics of viruses and are contagious. The specific performance is as follows. A creature with a pentagram engraved on it is bitten by an infected creature, causing a wound, and the virus enters the body, and it must be infected within a period of time. Then, everyone rushed up together. Just because you ran fast, you were bitten a few times ahead of time. If I haven't reacted yet, you just jump back, biting me in front of my face. What's going on? But this idea just came out. The virus attacked, turned to join the enemy, and bit harder than the previous one under such a momentum. Biological viruses spread very fast. The speed of Su Zhao's advancement can be described as divine speed. I stayed in the outer area for a few days just now, and in 10 minutes, I almost entered the place near the scientific research base. It seems that no matter which battlefield you are in, the power of technology will always be the most powerful. No, Professor Xu should be praised. People are not here, but they can control the whole situation. Chapter 283 Space Barriers. Su Zhao's influence on living things is different from his control of living things through pentagrams, the product of myth biological enzymes, although it can play a shocking role. But in general, Su Zhao will communicate with a younger brother around him. Then, under its influence, The Legion under its control can be more effective in combat pentagrams, more just through control, play the role of manipulating thoughts. The combat power of a single unit cannot be fully mobilized. Even the formation of legions is nothing more than that. Under the circumstance that the pentagram healing array was restricted, the opponent was losing ground. The younger brother under Su Zhao's hands was singing all the way he patted the orange cat under the seat. And the latter ran sensible. The reconnaissance team that was released just now has feedback. They have successfully found a place to store the meteorite base and led the lightsaber team on the road. The location of the surrounding firepower deployment has basically been investigated. The route of the invasion is detoured, and it will not alarm the large-scale defense deployment. It's just the position of the sniper. I won't be able to find it for a while, and the most crucial information is the change of the weather and the solidification of the phantom. The coercion is not only on human beings, but even other creatures can't help but worship. Gan, it looks like a strange bull, ghost and snake. If I can equip my army with a full set of firepower, I can directly wash the ground with full firepower, and I will be disabled even if I don't die. Although there is a little disdain in his words, Su Zhao's attitude towards things is still so cautious and serious. Arrange the advancement of each legion and nibble steadily. As long as the underground forces are more chaotic, they will not notice the lightsaber squad above. To a certain extent, Su Zhao can also play a certain role in covering the advance ahead. Has reached a one-sided situation under Su Zhao's order. They bite other creatures when they see them. In the past, they fought less and less. But now they are more aggressive and have more brothers. The leader on the other side was also stunned in the beginning. After being injured, the wounds could be treated by the healing array, and the sacrifices were still sent to the opposite side. The whole process is easy and effective. But now, Nimas, after being bitten, started jumping backwards in front of them. Who can stand this? Don't play if you can't afford it. What's the hang of it? What a skill! Walk, walk, back, back. The leader of the demon dog kept shouting, looking at the army retreating like a tide. It was secretly anxious. Originally there were 3 lines of defense. The magic pigeon is there, it is here, and the last line of defense is the boss. Before it had heard that the leader on the opposite side was a guinea pig at that time, I still thought that I had held it for so many days. It was also expected that they would definitely attack today. He also specially asked the magic pigeon to discuss it and asked, "Do you have any questions tonight?" The opposite replied, "Don't worry, leave it to me." How did you stop it in the first place? You can also stop it at night. Result: people just disappear. Do you want to stretch your hips like this? And why are most of the legions attacking us? Our former teammates. Gan, it's so frustrating. The boss believes in you, and I also believe in you. Is that what you do? If it weren't for the fact that people couldn't be resurrected after death, the demon dog would definitely have stepped forward and spit in its face. Oh, it's a pity. My little brother is up there to chase those intruders. Otherwise, with them there, it will definitely relieve the pressure on myself and teach the guinea pig on the opposite side how to behave. Look at these things around you. What are they all about? Hearing the demon dog's order, the remaining legions all ran backwards. They communicated with each other in a dialect that everyone could understand. Hey, hey, squeeze inside. I haven't entered yet. No way. There's no place left. Gan. What do you mean when you have no place? Can't you put your feet away? Those people outside are scary, and they go crazy when they bite. That's what I said. Yesterday, I heard you call it brothers and sisters, saying that after God comes, your place will rise and you will return to your hometown in honor. The horse riding. I take it as a brother. What does it take me for? Brother, there's such a bite. The devil dog listened to the various remarks of his younger brother, and the expression on his face kept twitching. I thought everyone was normal. Absolutely never thought that normal seems to be only me, especially the sentence, "Put your feet away and let me in a little." This Nima is what a human being can say. Oh, feel sorry. They are not really human. The noisy situation began to calm down slowly. The younger brothers all turned to look at the magic dog, but the latter was in deep thought. With its knowledge, it can tell that the opposite must be equipped with something like a virus. After adding the pentagram pattern, they also get a certain amount of sublimation and bonuses. The specific performance is being able to think and understand some things with a certain amount of human thinking and judge. Don't look at it. It's just a magic dog, but it did add some knowledge. The player who jumped backwards was obviously infected with a virus. In the virus, what can it do after all? Let's be honest, I'm just an ordinary devil dog, not the top boss. Let's do this first. Everyone, don't go out of the pentagram pattern first, and then wait. The boss said, wait for a while and it will come out. After he finished speaking, He closed his eyes and rested without looking at the shocked eyes of the younger brothers. There are actually many kinds of functions of the pentagram pattern. Different arrangements can activate different effects. The main difference between the healing circle and the sacrificial ceremony is that the patterns of the pentagrams are arranged differently at this moment. They are crowded together, and they all stay on the pentagram pattern because its function is to form a similar space barrier. Freeze the air at a short distance outside the pentagram to form a wall-like film can withstand the impact of objects. This is also the reason why the previous one anxiously shouted to squeeze in, because a little slower. A small section of air outside has solidified and it won't die. The only disadvantage is, God has not come, and the defense strength of the space barrier is not very good under the overall charge of the opposing legion. It would not last long. The figure of the orange cat gradually slowed down, and Su Zhao asked, "What happened ahead?" "Report." The air in front suddenly solidified, forming a small section of film protection. "We can't pass through, can't get through. It seems that the other side is planning to temporarily give up the frontal confrontation with us also. Biological viruses are more like plugins than therapeutic arrays. Whoever you are, one bite and you become mine. Who can resist this? Thank you Zhang Haiyang, who loves shark fin soup." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 284 Explosion is Art. The sudden discovery of the space barrier exceeded Su Zhao's expectations. The situation above is also very tense. An extra minute of delay will make the lightsaber squad more dangerous. I originally thought that the healing formation formed by the pentagram was already a trouble. Did not expect pentagrams can also be combined to form space barriers. Gan, small pentagram, why there are so many uses? Can you break through? Su Zhao asked. I can't break through for the time being, because you didn't come just now, and I didn't order it for the time being. The black dog replied respectfully. When the biological virus was eaten into the stomach before, it was determined to die, because if you want to infect the healing array, you must stand in the sacrifice area. Who knows, the wounds all over the body were too serious, and the blood continued to flow out, and the blood that flows out is the existence of biological virus. He then infected the healing array and healed its injuries along the way. Accidents always happen unexpectedly. Su Zhao was also very surprised to see such a situation. After all, these few charges have really lost too much of its little brother. There are not many leaders who can serve as heavy burdens. You take me to see, it is good. Su Zhao patted the orange cat's head under the seat, and the latter understood it. Although it is fat, it is not difficult to keep up with a black dog leader at its speed. Just like Xu Teng is the absolute king in scientific research, Su Zhao is also the absolute king in mobilizing the potential of his younger brother. As the black dog leader shouted, the younger brothers all gave way to them. After a while, they came to the space barrier through the hazy air. I could see the expressions on the faces of the enemies on the other side. Some panicked, some survived the catastrophe, and even provocative ones. Although I can't hear the voice of the other party, I can guess from the expression Oiwa, it's quite arrogant. Su Zhao pouted, ignoring the opponent's provocation. Su Zhao focused on the space barrier in front of him from a visual point of view. The air in front of me was all blurred and solid, all piled up separate, the north and south blocks of the entire pipeline. Turning his head, he saw the familiar pentagram pattern on the other side glowing near the pipitum. It really is the movement of the pentagram. The more times he played against the opponent, the more annoying Su Zhao became to their pentagram. Although they also have technology products, it mainly relies on the pentagram pattern as the basis for various combinations. The effect formed after the combination is really easy to use, but it also makes Su Zhao disgusted. The reason for the disgust is that no matter which effect is activated, sacrifices are required. Becoming the chosen people of God is the same as the healing array, and it is estimated that the same is true of today's space barriers. The role of biological viruses has successfully demonstrated that the pentagram pattern can be restrained. Then this time, the key point of the space barrier is the problem of hardness. Su Zhao stretched out his hand and touched it, soft, like pulp. When you can press down with force, all the surrounding force will be removed. No wonder their sprints don't do much. Look at the past. The thickness of several tens of centimeters is enough to remove the powerful force. If it wasn't for me, this space barrier would really be difficult for others. While speaking, Su Zhao took off the ring he had been wearing from his finger. The ring Xu Teng gave it has many uses. Can accept the news from Xu Teng, can locate, can make calls. All the functions you can imagine can be found on this ring, but there is only one most critical function. which is why Xu Teng gave it in the first place. There are 3 things in it: lightsabers, blasters, and, finally, ionic energy shields. In addition to shields, the remaining 2 can cause damage to space barriers. The demon dog, separated by the space barrier, has been observing the reaction of the opposite mouse. I heard that it also has a name called Su Zhao. Played many times, let it realize although the guinea pig in front of him is not at all inconspicuous in terms of body size, but don't underestimate its wisdom. Watching it come up to touch the space barrier, and look at the pentagram here, the magic dog was nervous for a while. It won't be a problem. No, there shouldn't be a problem. In the past, all the fights were bites between creatures. Don't look at the number of people on the other side, but facing this kind of space fortress, you can only stare blankly. After all, the use of thermal weapons to violently destroy space barriers. This is also why it won't be applied above and put it underground to deal with Su Zhao, the creature on the blue star. It has not seen it can evolve to use heat weapons. Seeing Su Zhao retreating from the opposite side, the magic dog felt relevant, finally able to complete the boss's task and stick to it for as long as it needs. It's just, why does it take so much time this time? Is it because there are not enough sacrifices? In the next second, the demon dog's eyes widened, as if seeing something incredible. No, why did this guy take out a glowing stick? What is this? The voice of the devil dog made the little brothers around him turn their attentions. The originally incomparably safe space barrier began to rupture, and the pulp-like space was torn apart instantly. Like remembering the stick that lights up at this moment seems to be like a reminder. I'm going. Why can it pierce the space barrier with a stick? It's over. Why won't this devil let us go? That's right, we've all stepped back here, and it's already a dead end. If the heart of the army is shaken, it will spread like a plague. The joy of the rest of his life disappeared in an instant, replaced by endless panic. The demon dog was annoyed to death by these noisy words, although it is also a little scared, but it can forcefully reprimand it in a loud voice. What's your name? Didn't you see it was made of a stick? Such a thick space barrier, how long will it be pierced? Besides, even if it is opened up, it is only a small part of the passage. We can just keep it, and the boss will recover soon. As soon as the voice fell, the surroundings became quiet. Yes, it's not just a stick. What are you afraid of? Finally, don't know how much time it will take to make the port. So, just when everyone calmed down, Su Zhao stopped and muttered while looking at the lightsaber in his hand. Even if the maximum oscillation frequency is activated, it is still unable to achieve the goal in mind. Anyway, it was just a test to see if the space barrier could be pierced. It turns out that any hot weapon can do damage. No wonder they won't be used on it. With a flash of light, the lightsaber was put into the ring. Take out the blaster gun. Back off. With a wave of Su Zhao's hand, the army here instantly retreated a few meters away. Explosion as art is about to begin. Thank you, Royal Street, Filionji who likes red thorn roses. Chapter 285 Devil Wolf. With a finger movement, the energy output of the blaster gun was directly transferred to the maximum output power through the cutting of the lightsaber. Just now, Su Zhao has understood. The inside of the space barrier is only a force-relieving layer, and it will not rebound the attack. The faint blue light began to gather at the muzzle, and the enemy who was separated by a space barrier suddenly had a bad feeling. What does it want to do? Why, there are guns. Next second, the thick blue light beam shot directly from the muzzle of the blaster gun. The space barrier that could have resisted the attack was now like a thin piece of paper, and it shattered when it was stabbed. The pulp-like force-releasing layer can't play any role at this moment. Wherever the faint blue light goes, it shatters like a rotten boom boom. The space barrier dividing the north and the south was shattered violently in front of everyone. For the first few minutes, he was still pretending to be calm, and the devil dog, who thought there was no major event, was frightened. No, there is this thing. Why didn't you take it out earlier? Isn't this pure teasing us? As for why Su Zhao didn't use it at first, it was because the weapons that Professor Su gave him were all scaled down according to a certain ratio. Although Xu Teng has mastered the core technology, after shrinking, the time that can be used has dropped significantly. If it wasn't for the lack of energy, Su Zhao would have thought about pushing the creatures in front of him to rely on sacrifice to support. The inspiration of the pentagram pattern is unbearable to any extent. It only took 10 seconds for the opponent's last psychological line of defense, the space barrier. Just like that, it disappeared in front of them. Su Zhao, who was holding the blaster gun, stood in front of them like this. Especially the smoke was still coming from the muzzle. A huge fear instantly grabbed the hearts of all creatures. Gun. It has a gun. What should I do? How do I know? We're afraid we can't stand it with such a shot. I can't stand it. So simple. I just died on the spot. In a hurry, they turned to look at the magic dog beside them. Boss, what are you talking about? That's right. What about the healing array? Why don't we activate the healing array? Activate shit. The essence of pentagram technology is the need for sacrifice. In the past, when the healing array was activated, it directly dragged others who were seriously injured to sacrifice. Now, here comes the end who wants to be the first to be sacrificed. Moreover, the healing array is only useful for those who are seriously injured. With Su Zhao's shot down, in that faint blue light, we probably won't even have scum left. Also treat a fart, even the ashes were lifted for you. The panicked little brother looked at the leader, who is usually very intimidating, but now he didn't even dare to let go of a bullshit. He was extremely frightened. It's over, we're all going to be shot to death, boss. Doesn't it mean that the boss will appear soon? Why don't you come, boss? You won't forget us all. The joys and sorrows of people are not the same. Seeing the noisy movement on the other side, Su Zhao raised the blaster gun in his hand, so that the direction of the muzzle was better aimed at the group of creatures. Goodbye, everyone. Just in time for me to catch up. Buzzing, the blaster gun began to store energy, and the faint blue light began to pass from the gun body to the muzzle. At last, with a bang sound, a beam of light was aimed at the opposite side. Just as the faint blue light was about to hit them, a spinning pentagram appeared out of thin air. Many pentagram patterns are superimposed layer by layer, and the rotation will refract all the blue light that comes over. There were bursts of explosions around, and the blue beam of the blaster began to explode in the sewer pipe, followed by a thick black mist. Su Zhao, rotate the blaster to the left. This thing doesn't have an automatic locking function, right? Just thinking about it. The rotating pentagram pattern immediately shifted over and blocked in front of the faint blue light. The demon dog, who thought the ashes would be lifted on the spot, breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that today, everyone will not be the one to be eaten. This is, eldest, ha. The boss finally came out. I knew that the boss would definitely not forget us. Emotions began to run high, and cheers continued. Boom boom boom. The constant explosions around made Su Zhao give up his desire to continue the attack. Release the button and the blaster stops outputting power, and the pentagram did not stop spinning, but instead accelerated the power. The thick black mist was sucked in and gradually formed the appearance of a channel. Bang dang. With a sound, a stable passage really appeared in the center of the black fog. A strong flame shot out from it, facing Su Zhao, who was in front of him, and slapped the orange cat, who was sitting down, who nimbly avoided it. Boom. The moment the flames hit the wall, the stones began to melt and fell in the entire passage. There was only the sound of gushing flames and the sound of falling stones. The temperature begins to rise, and the water vapor begins to diffuse. The sound of Dada footsteps came from the passage formed in the black mist. Hey, hurry up and come out in front. What are you pretending to be? Su Zhao shouted in dissatisfaction. The flame gradually extinguished from the spouting state, and the figure walked out of the passage. Red eyes, dazzling like rubies, with two heads. One stared at Su Zhao in front of him, and the other tilted his head to look at the younger brother behind. The flame that had just gushed out was slowly burning on its body at this moment, and it kept breathing. It looks like a wolf, with a complex pentagram pattern engraved on its whole body, shining brightly. The little brothers behind it shouted excitedly one by one, "Welcome the boss to come out of the mountain." In contrast, Su Zhao and his legion here became silent. The way of playing is very windy. Not only can control the pentagram pattern, but also has flames on his body. I have to say, this little bastard is a bit pretentious. Su Zhao muttered secretly, his fingers constantly rubbing the blaster gun in his hand, thinking about what angle should I find so that I can avoid the pentagram pattern and blast directly on the younger brother behind, or just fry it on top of it. Who hurt my subordinates? The magic wolf said slowly. Yo, you are here, it's your father here, with fireflies leading the way. The journey behind the lightsaber team was relatively smooth. There are relatively few patrol teams occasionally encountered, lurking, and when they pass by, once the lightsaber is opened, it will be wiped out. I have to say that the professional infiltration team is really great with the lightsaber. Others didn't even snort, they just burped. Come on, keep up. We're running out of time. The next second, after stepping in, the faces of everyone changed. Thank you, Wu Zindeng from Hua Ibipo, who likes Zheng Ma Chao from Hungaipan, Mai Omi Adang, Shangli, Yuxalun, who likes to eat noodles and yellow croaker, and who likes shark fin and meat soup. Zhang Haiying. Chapter 286, Broadening Perception. The inner coercion came again. Originally, everyone looked up through the short-lived light formed by lightning, and saw everything that was constantly condensed by the phantom. Feel the intimidation across such a distance. There will always be a kind of pious impulse in people's hearts. I want to bow down and worship. Then, the four people in the lightsaber team forced themselves not to look, so they would not feel the pressure of God. But now, through the instructions of Firefly. As soon as the 4 members of the lightsaber team stepped into this area, they felt a pressure stronger than before, and everyone follow me. The technology of the pentagram will be the last way back. The firearm in your hand will only allow you to cause more damage, not the slightest achievement. The moment I come is the moment when you step into immortality. Why? You haven't become my most devout believer. Although the voice was small, it was like a thunderous explosion in the depths of my heart. The other 3 all began to bend down in pain, but Leoborn was still resisting. Captain, what should we do? If we don't find a solution, we won't be able to use our weapons. Gan, it missed the mental attack before the mission was carried out. Yuan Farron and Su Zhao had a long discussion. All possible situations are listed. The 2 were also constantly figuring out how to solve it. For example, the appearance of black fog will obscure a certain field of vision. At that time, Su Zhao was also busy dealing with everything in front of him, how it should be done. So there was the Winged Insect Legion to lead the way, forget a lot and prepare a lot, but he never thought that the pressure of God could still come like this. Moreover, from the analysis of the current situation, coercion is linked with a black fog. As long as there is black fog, the coercion will not disappear. No solution. At this moment, Maliki, who was standing aside, was a little confused at what happened to them. Why? They all squatted down. He took a few steps forward to help Yuan Farron, who was about to fall down. The moment the 2 wanted to touch, a turbulent black mist suddenly appeared on Maliki's body, and it exploded like oil meets water. Boom! A crisp explosion sounded. Maliki looked dazed, but Yuan Farron stood up instantly. He was there just now. The words that kept chanting in his mind immediately melted away, and the pressure that made him uncomfortable was expelled. What happened? Why? Oh yes, Maliki is a mutant. They once said that when the gods come, the mutants will disrupt all plans. Even gods will be hit hard. Quick, come here and let Maliki touch it. He's a mutant. Just a touch will remove the coercion in his heart, Yuan Farron shouted at the top of his voice. On the one hand, the other team members were approaching. On the other hand, Yuan Farron took Maliki's hand and walked towards the team. What are you doing? Because they cannot communicate with each other in complex language. Maliki didn't know why Yuan Farron was pulling him until, as his hands touched the players' bodies, there was a slight cracking sound every time, and the latter began to straighten his back, and he could not see any discomfort. Slowly he began to understand. Finally, the moment when the hand leaves Leoborn, the black mist that emerged from Maliki was constantly deforming, as if someone was pinching plasticine after surging. It slowly solidified its shape after taking a closer look. The lightsaber team was stunned. Isn't this the tall phantom in the sky? It seems so, just scaled down a lot, it seems. Speaking, everyone turned their heads and looked at Maliki. At this moment, he was standing still, his eyes blank. Just as several people had guessed, the phantom was indeed talking, and pulled Maliki into another space. Maliki was standing where he had first come back to life, surrounded by walls except for a light shining from his head. The front is where he saw the phantom for the first time that day. He was here to hear his mother's heartfelt voice for him. At this time, there was only a tall phantom that kept condensing, angrily attacking him. It's you again. Why? You always come to ruin my affairs. I have conquered a lot of civilizations in my life, most of which have become subordinate countries of civilization, and only a small part will be completely destroyed by me. Because of those civilizations, mutants were born, and you, too, are mutants. I let you go a lot again. I gave you a chance. Why do you always fight against me? In this space, he was like a frustrated loser constantly bashing Maliki. You speak to me, do you hear me? Just when Maliki was about to say something, he suddenly felt something. He turned his head to look at the surrounding walls and leaned down. He's been here a few times, and he's never noticed any difference here. The only feeling is, here, he can be on an equal footing with a tall phantom, and his power cannot be developed in this space. But just now, he thought he could hear something. The tall phantom saw Maliki lying on the wall listening to something, and he was a little flustered, and he pretended to be calm on the surface. If you can do it, stop sabotaging my plan. Before he could finish speaking, Maliki made a move and scolded, shut up. The world instantly quieted down. Subtle voices kept coming through the wall, and Maliki listened carefully. After a few minutes, get up, look at the tall phantom, and mutter, Mouse civilization, a civilization that combines theology and technology. The base of civilization is to use the combination of pentagram patterns to stimulate various effects, and you claim to be the god of death. The so-called immortality is just to extract the source of life from the sacrifices and transfer it to another creature through the pentagram pattern. Listening to the information that Maliki recited, the tall phantom was silent, thinking about how to kill him. Captain, look at why he's shining. Liu Born looked at Maliki and said in surprise, except for Wang Doi, who was on guard. The other two immediately turned their heads, still the same as before, standing still. The only difference is, the black mist spewing out of the body gradually turned into light. Don't move him. That's all. Hey, he's awake. The awakened Maliki looked around and determined that he was no longer in the space just now. The words spoken in front of the tall phantom were all heard by him in the wall, but after saying it, you can perceive everything that you couldn't do before. For example, there is fear and murder in the emotions of the tall phantom, and also, he brought in his perception. Chapter 287. The specific performance of perceptual broadening is as follows. The dark fog emerging from the body slowly turns into light, and expands into an aperture. After the aperture continued to expand, it finally burst, and a little light fell out. When the scattered light fell on the bodies of the lightsaber squad next to them, they immediately blended in. The originally obscured vision of the crowd immediately opened up. The black fog is still there, but it no longer affects their sight. I'm going. Captain, is this mutant so awesome? Liu Born exclaimed. Although the other three did not speak, they thought so in their hearts. The three of IBM were let out of this space through the sacrifice ceremony, and along the way, the parasitic seeds in the hearts of the three were removed. The tall phantoms in the sky were constantly condensing, and the lightsaber team could not bear the pressure when they looked up, and even the closer the scientific research base was, they even started to spread through the black fog. Can Maliki touched them and wiped away the pressure in his heart. Now, the light generated from the body can restore everyone's perception in the black fog if given a little more time. Wouldn't it be possible to snatch those so-called loyal gods chosen? At this time, Maliki was still immersed in the harvest. Just now the space where he was just now was surrounded by walls, which seemed to be an exclusive space. The reason why he feels this way is because God cannot harm him in it, and also, he waved his hand and said, "Shut up." God really shut up in this way. That space can be used by him to a certain extent. However, how should we get that space? Just when Maliki was thinking, he heard Yuan Firen's cry, "Are you okay?" He looked up, looked at each other, and shook his head. Because of the language barrier, the two sides did not have in-depth exchanges, and they used the simplest words. Boom, rumble, lightning flashed in the sky, and thunder continued. Looking at the tall phantom, Maliki suddenly had an intuition. Do I need to interrupt the coming of God? Since he became a mutant, he has not done much. To put it simply, murder. The specific point is, kill the chosen people of God and save the chosen people of God. Compared with entering the space for the first time, this time, he can also manipulate some of the rules, so destruction can make you stronger. Walk. Yuan Firen asked again. The other three turned their heads and saw that Maliki remained unresponsive. Thinking that the other party was worried about their state, they deliberately concealed it. You? Before Yuan Firen could finish speaking, Maliki immediately turned around and said, "Let's go," and also started to lead the way. Yuan Firen. The other three, "No, are you really okay, or are you fake, Captain?" "We." Follow up, Yuan Firen said quickly. He must have changed something. If we run around in the black fog, we might even lose our way. It's definitely not wrong to follow the mutant. The other three looked at each other and immediately followed. The majesty of God does not only apply to human beings, rather, it applies to all living things. The Firefly Corps, who had led the way for a few people before, flew into all directions the moment they stepped into the black fog. After flying for a while crookedly, he disappeared without the guidance of the Firefly Corps. In the case of unfamiliar routes, following the mutants is the best choice. It turned out to be the case when a few people followed Maliki. There were a lot of people lying on the side of the road, some dying and killing so fast. Now the only people who can lie on the ground and cry in the black mist are the chosen people of God, and it took only a few seconds for Maliki to solve it. Is this still the mutant who needed the help of the lightsaber team? Sneak attack? One hit is fatal. It doesn't seem to be at this moment. Wang Doyu, who had been silent beside him, said, "Positioning, what? What are you talking about?" Liu Born was stunned by the sudden words. Wang Doyu, who was running, ignored Liu Born and explained, "It's all surrounded by black fog. Although we have a general route for their team, it has long been ineffective." In such a short period of time, Maliki was able to bring everyone down. It shows that he can locate the position of other gods' chosen people. The other two nodded and said, "That makes sense, Liu Born. Obviously everyone has seen people lying on the street by the roadside. Why do you think so much? That's good thing. If we can locate it, then our role can be maximized." Tang Yuan smiled and said, "Yeah, the blaster gun has been prepared a long time ago. You can shoot it wherever you want." A few meters ahead, Maliki was standing still. After meeting, Yuan Firen stepped forward and asked, "What's wrong?" After Maliki felt it carefully, he frowned and said, there are people, looking in the direction of Marley's fingers. It is summed up, there are people everywhere. Mutants are not gods, especially those who haven't fully grown up. Certainly not all the group of people who just overturned, all relying on the advantage of positioning, secretly gave them a hard blow. Hearing Maliki's answer, the four looked at each other and smiled at each other. Yo, come to live, haha, then it's time for our performance. Professor Xu brought us a good weapon. The lightsaber has been used for a long time, and the blaster gun has long been hungry. That is, let them see how powerful the weapons made with modern technology are apart from the pentagram. So, the four of them started pinning their lightsabers to their waists, turned around and took out the rough-looking firearm. Maliki turned his head and watched curiously. In the few days they spent together, he learned that the glowing stick was a lightsaber, and the penetration of this piece, it is very useful, especially after activating the lightsaber, adjust to the maximum oscillation frequency, accompanied by the humming sound of the blade. Even the chosen people of God strengthen themselves through the black mist. Transforming their hands into sharp weapons can still be a child by their sword, and the rough-looking firearm on the waist has never been seen by them, Maliki once asked, and the four answered, the power is too great, and under normal circumstances, it is not easy to try, for fear of irreversible consequences. Too powerful. How big is it? In the end it's just a gun. Just when Maliki was guessing, Yuan Farron turned his head and asked him another question. It's over there, here, over there, over here. Looking in the direction he pointed, Maliki nodded. Yes, okay, back off. Maliki stepped back and turned his head back, stunned. Thank you, Yuan Kin, who loves to eat fried lentils and steamed buns. Chapter 288. The blaster gun Yuan Farron held in his hand was constantly charging. The faint blue rays of light continued to gather, and visually, it was at least a few centimeters thick. No, what's this thing? What about firearms? Why is there such a large beam? Maliki, who was standing next to him, was full of question marks, and he didn't quite understand. The appearance of the pentagram pattern is already very theological, but now even technology has begun to theology. This weapon, is it really a firearm? If you shoot down, there may be no casualties. Maybe. All the ashes of all the people were raised at the scene. Yuan Farron's face was serious. The performance of the blaster gun was indescribable, in all aspects powerful. No bullets. The only downside is that you can't shake your hands, otherwise, people with guns may have to invite everyone to dinner. Aiming at the direction Maliki felt, Yuan Farron pulled the trigger. The faint blue light emits. Boom. In the distance, an explosion occurred. In an instant the house collapsed, and through the flash of lightning, one could even see the guards taking off, one after another. Maliki's mouth instantly opened into an O shape and couldn't close his mouth. Boom boom. The faint blue light emitted is different from ordinary bullets and firearms, and there is almost no interval. This one in Yuan Farron's hands has been continuously outputting. The same goes for the blasters in the hands of the other three players, all of which are aimed in the direction Maliki had previously mentioned. The sound of the explosion continued, and all he saw was a faint blue light at this time. Maliki's first reaction was to wash the ground with firepower. The second thought, this horse riding can actually be divided into firearms? The power of some small missiles is nothing more than that. What others have said is too powerful to be used lightly. It turned out that if you were not careful, you could raise what you saw in front of you to the ground again. This is what you people from the Dragon Kingdom said. Is the power that little bit stronger? If I hadn't used a gun, I would have believed your nonsense. After dozens of seconds, the blaster guns in the hands of the lightsaber team made a kakaka sound. This is the time when the energy is temporarily exhausted and a new inflation gap has entered. General penetration on the battlefield. Blaster guns will not be used this way. Adjust to the maximum third energy scale, and use the maximum duration, because, into the vacuum period, the team's risk will increase. However, this time things are a little different. The troops have been deployed on the opposite side, and all the firepower is on it. The fixed target must be hit. Boom, boom boom. The catharsis of the blaster caused a secondary explosion of the surrounding powder magazines in the sky. Lightning struck constantly on the ground. Flames splattered. After all, it is the chosen of God with a black mist bonus, and it can't withstand such a firepower to wash the ground. More people, without even humming, disappeared in place. The faint blue light of the blaster, coupled with the secondary explosion of the ammunition depot, did not even give them the time to prepare their coffins. Really, do the ashes are raised? 1, 2, Maliki kept muttering in a low voice just as the lightsaber team guessed. He did unlock the ability to locate in space within a certain range. It is possible to accurately locate the nearby chosen people of God. Originally, everyone sensed that they were all people in all directions, but now they disappeared one after another. It was immediately clear the fire was blazing everywhere, but even so, the lightsaber team still formed a defensive formation, vigilant around them. They are hiding behind each other's buildings, guarding the key positions. The voices of the players sounded in the headset. There is no problem with the 3 o'clock position, and I haven't seen God's chosen people. There is no problem with the 8 o'clock position. At 12 o'clock, there is no problem. After waiting for a minute, there was no movement at the scene. Yuan Farron began to approach Maliki and asked, "Anyone else?" Turning his head, Maliki gave the former a strange look. "How powerful are your blasters? Don't you know, even the powder magazine had a secondary explosion." The scene was razed to the ground. The fire blazed into the sky. There were big pits and ruins everywhere. Not even a single mosquito could survive on the scene. But you started asking it questions, asking, "Is there anyone else? Is it reasonable?" At this time, Maliki's face twitched a little, and said with an unnatural expression, "No, no more." "Huh, that's fine." Hearing this, Yuan Farron exhaled a deep breath. After finally clearing the obstacle in front of him, he pressed his hand on the headset and said, "Maliki sensed it. He said that there was no one at the scene." "Ness, I was a little nervous just now." Ha. God's chosen people are just like that. After all, they can still be broken by weapons. I have to say again, Professor Xu has been criticized. The lightsaber is strong, and the blaster gun is even more powerful. Chong, bring their old nest. What kind of spicy chicken pentagram, and need to sacrifice, I can give to directly. Hearing the high-spirited tone of everyone in the headset, Yuan Farron showed a smile, turned his head and asked, "Let's go, walk." Compared with the previous few times, Maliki's tone at this time was much firmer. With a backer, people will be much tougher. Super firepower output, humanoid radar. As long as you don't jump wildly on the edge of death, the task is not so difficult to complete. After a little sense, Maliki and led a few people to run from the other direction. Quick, keep up. Yuan Farron waved. The two people in the middle were running, and Wang Doi followed behind them, pressing their tails. Among the 4 people in the team, Wang Doi has always been the most powerful one in vigilance. At this time, Wang Doi was doing a review in his mind. From the time we stepped into the street, we began to be under pressure from God at a deeper level. In terms of distance, it is not far from the scientific research base. No matter which executive officer it is, the firepower deployment will not be completely placed in one place. Moreover, we are not facing a normal army, and the black fog is able to develop the potential of the human body. The place where the blaster was cleaning the ground just now was more like a heavy fire point. They didn't expect the weapons on us to have such power. Then, the street we walk on now should be regarded as another point. At this point, Wang Doi seemed to suddenly understand something. His face changed instantly, and he shouted in the headset, "Captain, stop now." "What? What's wrong?" If Liu Boran suddenly said this, he would not necessarily pay attention, but Wang Doi was specially responsible for vigilance. Chapter 289. I protect you. A reliable person usually doesn't speak, but when he speaks, he usually finds something important. "Captain, it is very likely that you will encounter an ambush if you go this way." Ambush. The blaster was used to clean the ground with firepower, and everyone was at the stage when their vigilance began to relax. If there is an ambush, it may cause fatal injuries. Yuan Farron began to shout in the headset, "Everyone, stop," then speed up and make him stop when he is side by side with Maliki. "What's wrong?" Maliki asked in confusion. "The action is good. Why stop it? There are enemies." "Enemy?" Hearing this, Maliki tilted his head and sensed it carefully. "No, the surroundings are very quiet. I don't know if it's because of the unexpected effect of the blaster gun, and there are not even other creatures around. What? Why did the lightning stop?" At this time, Maliki reacted and raised his head. "I only saw that the tall phantom in the sky was constantly solidifying, and the lingering black mist changed its appearance, slowly emitting a dazzling light on the other side." The 3 lightsaber team were listening carefully to Wang Doi's explanation in the headset. The media ride in the research room is a crucial point for them. When arranging firepower, it will definitely not be all arranged in one place. Obviously, the place we destroyed just now was a heavy firepower point, and in the information that IBN and the 3 of them gave us, this one is not there. So, that says 2 things. 1 point, they themselves didn't know about this arrangement. After all, IBN was just a squad leader. Another point, IBN and the 3 were discovered long ago. The previous arrangement of personnel and the deployment of firepower points were only partially correct. When the 3 heard this sentence, cold sweat began to break out. Judging from the on-site analysis, What Wang Dou said was basically correct. The general route of other patrol teams is only useful in its section. The latter, whether from the patrol team they encountered, or the deployment of heavy firepower just now, were all unheard of. So, you think? Second point, Yuan Farron couldn't help but ask, almost, but not so sure. After a pause, Wang Dou continued, Su Zhao's safe house, it also played a big role, and did not expose all our cards. Otherwise, they didn't expect that the blaster guns in our hands could directly explode their firepower deployment points. Speaking of which, everyone thought again. Under the faint blue light, it swept all the way, and even the gunpowder depot exploded. Then, what do you mean there might be an ambush? This sentence instantly made the atmosphere tense. Just now, because of the blaster gun, I swept it directly. Now, the blaster is in the charging stage. The offensive weapons on them are not that prominent. The only good news, the ionic energy shield, it can be mobilized at any time. With it, it can be somewhat useful in self-defense. Remember what Su Zhao said at the time? It said that there were snipers. Sniper. The atmosphere instantly froze. There are several kinds of big killers on the battlefield: fire suppression, tactical suppression, and the admission of special personnel in street offensive and defensive battles. The psychological pressure that snipers can bring will always be the strongest. There may be an outcropping, and a direct explosion. An ordinary type of sniper can already give pressure, not to mention a sniper who can go through the black fog bonus, where we're destroying with blasters. It's impossible to have a large sniper crew. The other three nodded, because the heavy firepower deployment point over there means abandoning the deployment with particularly strong individual lethality. Pen Fun Library. So, this time, Liu Boran took over this sentence. So, this is the most likely ambush location for snipers. There are only two paths to the research base. That road has been bombed, and such a big movement will definitely attract attention in a very short period of time. Everyone chose this path. Quiet, cramped, but unintentionally. You entered another path at the opposite side, forced you to choose, putting their intrigues and tricks on the bright side. The one that makes you have to choose. What's wrong? Maliki came to ask. He heard the voices of everyone talking just now, and when they finished speaking, he came up to ask, snipers, here, ambushing. Among the four, Yuan Farron's language talent was a little better and began to keep gesturing, to let Maliki understand. Is there an ambush here? Will there be snipers? Maliki was stunned for a moment because he used his ability to awaken. The previous positioning is very easy to use. As long as it is within a certain range, it can be positioned instantly. But now, he sensed it several times, but couldn't locate it. Fake? No, not possible. They don't have to say that. During the few days they spent together, Maliki knew what type of military literacy these people possessed in the Dragon Kingdom. A soldier's intuition on the battlefield can never be explained by common sense. It seems that absurd guesses are often the closest to the truth, but why can't it be located? Maliki was a little puzzled. Could it have something to do with a thing in the sky? The lightsaber team followed Maliki and looked up, only to find that the lightning had long since disappeared. There was no more thunder. No wonder the streets feel so quiet. Not only are these gone, but other things are added. For example, the black fog turned into light, and after rendering, the phantom was more like a god. Crap. There's not much time left. I don't know if Professor Su's project can catch up. The key point now is not this, but how to break this game. Everyone turned their heads to look at the quiet street, and the black mist surged. Although it would not affect their sight, the strange silence was like a wild beast waiting for them to enter the pit. Shall I come? Wang Dou took the initiative to speak. He has always been a good player in this area of vigilance. No, I'll come, Yuan Farron said proactively. Just as the other team members were about to say something, he continued, I have an ion energy shield that, when activated, can block snipers' bullets. It is good. For now, this proposal is indeed the best. Turning his head, Yuan Farron said to Maliki, you, come with me. Seeing the latter's stunned expression, he continued, I protect you, real. Looking at the serious expression on the opposite side, he looked at the lightsaber and blaster on him. Maliki believed it. Chapter 290 Dare to Act. Although there are many things that can be done through the pentagram, the weapons and technology these people carry are full of technology, which is also very reassuring. Before the action, Su Zhao had acted as a translator, asking Yuan Farron to give Maliki some of the most basic gestures for the action. Unexpectedly, it really works at this moment. Turning his head, Maliki looked at Yuan Farron's gesture seriously and nodded. Understand? Well, I get it. The meaning of the gesture is, you are by my side and act together. Maliki has no doubts about his arrangement. Black mist can only strengthen his physical fitness, but cannot increase his military literacy in this kind of street battle. Listening to the action arrangements of professionals is the most correct choice. With the addition of vision, the surrounding environment can be seen clearly. The economy of East Afghanistan is not good, and even if Bam is its capital, there are not many high-rise buildings, and the road that the other party deliberately released will not have tall buildings. As far as the eye can see, the highest buildings are 3-story buildings. In the past, it was a commercial area, with restaurants, KTV, internet cafes, snack shops, everything. Each store has a good sign, and there are various light signs erected in front of the store, but now, there is no one in the whole street. The signboards are damaged, hanging crookedly in front of the storefront, and some of them have collapsed and fallen to the ground. The glass of many stores was broken, and the car parked next to it either had a blown tire or the door was violently opened. Coupled with a black mist, the atmosphere is quiet. It's like a ghost town atmosphere. Why is this happening? I remember that a few days ago, Su Zhao also came to report the situation, saying, "The streets near the scientific research base are prosperous, and the most economically developed area in the whole country is here today. It is indeed the most economically developed region. The only downside is that no one is there." Yuan Fearing pressed the headset with his hand and asked softly, "Has the situation nearby changed?" "No, it's normal. I'm fine here too." "Normal +1, that's good. You guys continue to observe." "It's fine for me here. It's run down and nobody's there." "Ruined?" "No one." Speaking without intention, listening intentionally, Wang Doyu asked, "Captain, are you sure there is no one in the store? They are far apart from each other." Wang Doi couldn't see the situation on Yuan Fearen's side. "I'm sure. Not only is there no one, the store seems to have been robbed, and even the parked cars are damaged." "Are the cars broken?" Wang Doi felt a little uneasy in his heart. "Did you find something?" Yuan Fearen asked proactively without hearing Wang Doi speak. "In the process of completing the task, every detail can be the key place. If you miss it, something big could happen." "There is a conjecture, you said?" Yuan Fearen raised his eyebrows, and a bad feeling appeared in his heart. "Captain, do you still remember what happened in the slums south of Bam City?" "Of course I remember that Maliki was rescued by us from there. If it weren't for us, maybe he would become a sacrifice." "A sacrifice?" Having said that, Yuan Fearen got stuck. Suddenly understood something. "What do you mean?" "That's right, offerings, offerings. The whole street is full of people." Wang Doi's words exploded instantly like dynamite ignited in everyone's mind. It is too bold to speculate only from the content of the words. There is a country in power. Who dares to do this? If you don't even protect your own people and want to sacrifice it, then there is nothing you dare to do in the future. It can be inferred from what they have seen together. It is true the people in the slums in the south are no longer regarded as human beings at that time. It was only at the moment when God was ready to come. Now, God's chosen people have been made public here. For some upper-class people, it is no longer a secret. A little bit bigger. So what? Besides, that thing in the sky is their God. He comes, but will promise them all things, eternal life, without the opportunity to become the chosen people of God. Are they still the same kind in their eyes? The answer is already on the horizon. Everything in the chaos on the street has already explained everything. Pen Fund Library. Damn, how dare they do that? Yuan Fearen was angry. The other three also set off a huge wave in their hearts, and their anger kept rising. If this is the case, then we will all be facing the elect of the enhanced Earth God. Captain, you first put the ion energy shield open. It is good. At this moment, Yuan Fearen flicked the watch button on his left hand with his right hand. Buzzing, there was a slight sound, and a golden shield exploded in the air, but in the next second, it was hidden by the thick black mist around him. What is this? Maliki next to him stared blankly. "With all due respect, I have been in this world for more than 20 years. Why have I never seen this thing? I originally thought that the people in the team were ordinary people, but looking at it now, everything you can take out of your hands is full of technology." Lightsaber, within the acceptable range. The blaster gun is indeed a bit outrageous, but now, this shield, dream product now. No. How could the Dragon Kingdom be so strong? In Maliki's impression, shouldn't the strongest country on the surface of Blue Star be a beautiful country? Why? A lot of things have quietly changed at this moment. He had a momentary illusion her beautiful country is nothing but the same. If it really depends on the power of technological weapons, it has to be the Dragon Country. Invisibly, Maliki was shown what Yuan Fearen took out. I muttered in my heart, "Do you still have it? Be sure to remember to take it out later. I'm still waiting to see it." Yuan Fearen completely ignored the change in his eyes through Wang Doi's analysis. He felt that the development of things was likely what he said in the quiet street. There are snipers who can take lives at any time. The edge of life and death cannot wave. You follow closely, Yuan Fearen whispered. Maliki followed carefully, sticking very tightly. Just now he saw the captain press his watch, and something golden came out. He wondered what it was. When I got closer, I saw that the upside-down bowl-shaped shield was open in front. It's just that you can only see it if you look out from this side of him. Is there really anyone thinking of this? Maliki tilted his head and sensed it again. Still not. Just as he was muttering, Yuan Farron took a step forward. Boom. Suddenly, there was a deafening sound from the quiet street. Next second the air had vibrated. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 291 Shield Alerter. To be more precise, looking in the direction of Maliki, the air in front of him suddenly exploded. A black and hard thing jammed in instantly, and the kinetic energy it contained compressed the space of the golden shield in front. But no matter what, it didn't break the space. Then, the kinetic energy dissipates. It fell on the quiet street with a ding, and the sound was clear and pleasant. What the hell is it? Picked up the black thing that fell, looked at it, and exclaimed, "This is a bullet." No, why are there bullets? And also, that gunshot just now should be a sniper rifle. Surely it is. I used my power. Obviously no one was located around me, and that shot sounded like a signal to attack. Bang bang bang. Various gunshots rang out one after another from all over the street. Boom thump thump. Even if the surrounding is all black and fog, for ordinary people, this environment greatly affects the vision. But where every shot is aimed is the vital point of the two of them. Yuan Farron decisively turned the button on the watch to the maximum frequency. Tick, tick. A watch that never moves starts moving. The air in front exploded, and a dazzling golden shield was directly generated in an instant. In the next second, it was hidden by the black fog everywhere on the street. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of the sniper rifle gradually became irritable, but no bullets ever broke through the shield, and all were blocked. It fell to the ground in front of the two of them. Pen Fun Library. Quick, go, Yuan Farron growled. In fact, when they came in, they were already prepared to be attacked because the street is so abnormal. In the commercial area of the entire street, there is not a single person alive. The storefront signs are damaged, and even the glass of the car parked in front of them all burst unusually. He told everyone in the team directly, "We are just going to ambush you. Do you have the courage to come in?" As for Yuan Farron and the others, even the Longton Tiger Cave would have to come in, but the symphony orchestra's welcome made Yuan Farron and Maliki really overwhelmed. Otherwise, Wang Doi would have guessed everything. First, remind Yuan Farron to turn on the protection first shield. The deafening sound of gunfire can directly make the two of them burp. Walk. Yuan Farron pulled Maliki's sleeve. The latter also reacted immediately and followed the steps ahead and began to use the abandoned vehicle to find cover. At this time, professional military literacy is reflected. Lightsaber and blaster gun are the first scientific research achievements of Long Kingdom squad members who can configure these equipment will never be cowards. Yuan Farron used a professional S position while meditating silently in his heart. There is no wind today, so there is no wind speed to affect the trajectory of the bullet. There is no rain and the weather is clear. From the moment the gunshot rang out to the time it hit the shield, the time difference was about 1 second, and from the perspective, it appeared at the top left of me, and the orientation is about 7 o'clock. Thinking of this, Yuan Farron, who was wearing a headset, shouted loudly, "Wang Doi, please help Louds up to see if the group of turtle grandsons are sniping at me at 7 o'clock where I was standing just now." It is good, although the lightsaber squad, the main weapon configuration is lightsaber, blaster gun, ion energy shield, but those basic configurations are all complete. Especially before he joined the lightsaber squad, Wang Doi was the top sniper in the Dragon Kingdom army. This is why most of the guards rely on Wang Doi to stand guard, because, when it comes to choosing a location, no one is more suitable than Wang Doi. The orientation is about 7 o'clock. From the position of the captain just now, the highest distance is the direction of the roof, so, the first location is to see if there is anything on the roof, and then the rooms on the second and third floors. Wang Doi took out the tactical telescope and kept searching for the figure of the enemy. The two people in front of them first tried to rely on S to move and try to find cover, but the opposite is obviously also a professional sniper, and it is still a group. Although I wonder why the bullets can't kill the two of them. I can always predict the position of the two with a proficiently spot one. The vehicle in front of the two was directly blown up by a single shot. Yuan Farron, fuck, Maliki! Exclamation mark. If it weren't for Maliki being a foreigner, he wouldn't speak of the national quintessence of the Dragon Kingdom. He will now use national quintessence to show his emotions because there are ions. The energy shield exists, and Maliki doesn't know how powerful the bullet is, although the sound of gunfire on the opposite side is audibly scary. But wasn't it all blocked by the golden shield in the end? In these few seconds, Maliki was given an illusion. Sniper? What's the matter? Isn't that the power of firearms? But just now their movement trajectory was predicted, and the car in front of them was torn apart by a single shot. Only then did he realize that it wasn't that the guns on the opposite side were not powerful enough, but the golden shield in front of him was too powerful. This horse, there's a lightsaber for sneak assassination, and a blaster for heavy firepower. That doesn't make sense now. He has seen such a powerful shield with his own eyes. No, judging from the news he learned, the pentagram civilization brought by the extraterrestrial meteorite has only arrived at Blue Star for a few months. But Far East, Dragon Country. Why is there such a weapon research technology? It won't be because of decades of research, just to prevent the invasion of other civilizations at this moment. Who are the researchers of the Dragon Kingdom? With this kind of technology, sooner or later, you will have to go to the stars. However, they are still in a dangerous situation. Maliki's eyes changed. He remembered what the captain said before he came. I will protect you. Originally it was just an ordinary professional term before the action, but now, it is simply the most beautiful words. This way, quick. Yuan Firen did not have such a relaxed mentality as Maliki when Xu Teng handed over the ion energy shield to him. He specially instructed Allentown to say a word. The ion energy shield is absolutely safe until the energy is exhausted. When designing, I reserved a small transparent screen near the dial, which is a hazard warning device. Once the value of the hazard warning device reaches the yellow area, it means that the first activation method of the shield will be directly penetrated. When you reach the red area, it means that the second activation method of the shield will be directly penetrated, and breaking through the red area means that the shield can't defend against the current firepower. But just now, Yuan Firen glanced at the warning device and directly arrived at the yellow area in such a short time. Chapter 292 Pentagram Bullet. Just a bullet from the sniper rifle made the endurance of the ion energy shield reach the yellow warning area. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Yuan Firen would never have imagined that the sniper rifle's bullets would be so powerful at this rate. The shield will not be able to withstand it. Thinking of this, Yuan Firen turned to look at the dilapidated store not far away and shouted, "There, let's go in." It is good. Although Maliki didn't know what was going on, he understood it is not a wise choice to stand as a living target like this. Then, he picked up the bullet that had fallen on the ground. Following behind Yuan Firen, he started to run erratically, running at an S-shaped pace is not the most sensible choice when facing the bullet of a sniper rifle. Although the surface is S-shaped, but in fact, there will always be certain rules of running experienced snipers can always predict. Speaking of irregular running, it is difficult for an experienced sniper to hit the next bullet on their trajectory. That's all guesswork. Maliki realized when Yuan Firen started running erratically because of the days they spent together. Although everyone did not leave the safe house arranged by Su Zhao, under Su Zhao's translation, Yuan Firen also taught Maliki a series of basic knowledge. All are for the prevention of various emergencies and this erratic running. He talked about it at the time. It was just to give Maliki a concept in the information given by Su Zhao. The enemy is a sniper, but now, it just saves the tongue of teaching. When he first started, Yuan Firen turned to look at Maliki. The shield's defense has a certain range, and even if he is now turning on the third activation mode, it cannot prevent the entire street area. Pen Fun Library. If Maliki can't keep up, exposure to the muzzle of a gun would be dangerous. Even the first mode of the shield is directly shot through. Even if you are a mutant, you can't stop it after all. But as soon as he turned his head, he saw Maliki following behind him without taking a step. Yuan Firen, is this the mutant? If he didn't know the details, he almost thought that Maliki was a teammate who had been training with him for a long time. The pace is so professional. Boom, boom. In front of it is the sound of another sniper rifle at the back. The two of them jumped together and broke the glass of the store. Yuan Firen was a professional after all. After breaking the glass, he rolled on the ground with force and stood directly behind a door to prevent the enemy on the roof from chasing after. The whole set of actions is smooth and smooth, at most 1 second. On the other hand, Maliki, there was a bang, crisp and grounded again. Yuan Firen, sure enough, it was still my illusion. My teammates would never do such a thing with their faces on the ground. Turn your head and stand up. Maliki also responded quickly with a wary look at the periphery. At this moment, Yuan Firen's headset sounded anxious voices of the teammates. "Captain, are you alright?" "Well, I'm fine." "That's good. You don't know." Hearing the sound of that sniper rifle really scared me to death. Seriously, I've never heard a gunshot that loud in my life. Yes, The deafening sound of riding a horse is definitely not an ordinary sniper rifle. Having said this, Yuan Farron remembered that when the two of them left just now, Maliki picked up the bullet from the ground. Actually, not only the teammates were puzzled, but Yuan Farron himself was also puzzled. Professor Xu tested the ion energy shield, but used all the thermal weapons in the lightsaber base. There are even helicopters, anti-aircraft guns, but under that kind of firepower bombardment, the shield can resist it. Moreover, when the shield was handed over to him, Alan Tam also conveyed a word from Professor Xu: I upgraded the shield, and the defense strength has risen a little. What Professor Xu said has gone up a bit, but it won't be a little bit. Ordinary shields can withstand such strong firepower. That upgraded shield makes no sense that even a sniper rifle can't stop it. What? Just as Yuan Farron approached, he heard Maliki's doubtful voice. What's wrong? The latter took the bullet directly in front of Yuan Farron in order for him to see clearly. He turned the bullet while aiming at the light outside. At this moment, he understood why the sniper rifle was so powerful. Pentagram. Yuan Farron couldn't help crying out. A teammate's message came from the headset. Doubtful sound. Captain, what are you talking about? When he came in, Maliki picked up a bullet blocked by a shield, with a pentagram engraved on it. Gan. Those who ride horses, why are there pentagrams everywhere? Isn't it? The pentagram still has such a purpose. I thought that it could only be used as the start of the sacrificial ceremony and as a healing array. No wonder the sound of the sniper rifle roared like a locomotive blowing up the street. It's really outrageous. Based on this calculation, those snipers are definitely not normal people. I'll default. Originally, the lightsaber team thought the pentagram invasion would only be part of it because, in the slums south of Bam City, even if they lacked offerings, they would only dare to do it secretly. But now, much more serious than they thought. Healing array, sniper bullets, snipers, even the entire street of civilians has become a sacrifice for the so-called gods. The wealthy area in the north, in order to sublimate the level of personal life. Do you not even have the most basic moral values as human beings? While angry, several others were also afraid when the sniper rifle sounded at first. They also planned to go forward to suppress the fire, but the captain is holding a shield developed by Professor Xu himself, and when they were at the base, they also witnessed what kind of firepower Professor Xu used and how to test the power of the shield. Not a sniper rifle. The captain didn't speak, and he would definitely be able to block it. In fact, the shield did block, but inadvertently. It also put pressure on other people. The bullet is engraved with a pentagram. One shot can blow them up. It is very difficult for them to suppress fire, because if they are not careful, they will be killed. At this time, Yuan Farron was also thinking about this issue. Why did Maliki's positioning fail? The power of the sniper rifle is too great. The shield can't block unrestrictedly, and the blaster still needs a final period of time to recharge. During this firepower vacuum, how to formulate a counterattack plan? They must pass this street. At this moment, Wang Doyu's voice sounded in the headset. Captain, I generally know the position of the sniper. Chapter 293. The second plan attack. Each member of the team has different tasks and needs to be responsible for different things. Wang Doi did not participate in the topic just discussed, and was always looking for the position of the sniper. The captain stayed out long enough to attract every firepower. Fortunately, Professor Su's shield was strong enough, even under the bullets of the pentagram, it prevented all the vital points, and did not hurt the captain and Maliki. Then, Wang Doi also found out the positions of all the snipers. You say? Everyone else was silent, listening carefully to what Wang Doi was going to say next. There are 6 snipers in total, taking the captain's store as the coordinates. The approximate locations are, 1 on the roof at 1 o'clock, and 1 in the room on the 2nd floor at 3 o'clock. There are 2 rooms on the 3rd floor at 6 o'clock, 1 on the roof at 9 o'clock, and 1 on the roof at 11 o'clock. Now let's talk about the distance. Wang Doi breathed a sigh of relief and deduced it again in his heart. The direction at 1 o'clock is about 100 meters away from you, and the direction at 3 o'clock is 200 meters away. The snipers in ambush behind will increase by about 100 meters, so yes, 300 meters, 400 meters, 500 meters, is it so close? Hearing this distance, the first thought that popped into everyone's mind was this: normally, snipers don't get together because this is not suitable for combat. Even if it is discovered, there will be enough time to run pen fun library like this. The ones that do the most damage to a single unit are usually ambush at a long distance, and will not be used as an ordinary warrior. But this distance a bit outrageous. It's almost like sticking a gun directly in someone's mouth. HMPH. It seems that the other party has tried everything in order to hold us down on this street. Liu Boren snorted coldly. Although the distance is short, the power of their bullets is too great. Moreover, even if there is a sniper in a normal road battle, there will only be one sniper. This is 6 at the same time, and the density is too high. It is not easy for us to suppress firepower. If you want to kill a sniper, the specific process is roughly as follows: find his position and suppress it with firepower, so that he can't get up then charge, rush forward, or find his location, wait for him to show up, and knock him out directly. But no matter which one, it is to break through the sniper's fire blockade point under the double team of 6 people. It is absolutely impossible to shoot at the same time and make mistakes, so, as long as you dare to show your head, you will definitely be shot. Everyone who realized this did not speak to each other. Many fish. As soon as Yuan Farren spoke, he was interrupted by Wang Doyu. Captain, I know what you want to say. I also have 2 plans now. One is that you open the shield and get close to the snipers one by one to kill them. This plan is ideal, but it's actually unlikely to be realized. Because the opposite is not a fool and won't be squatting there all the time waiting for you to come up. Also, it takes time, so what I recommend is the second plan. You open the shield, bring Maliki and rush to the sniper position closest to you, get rid of him as quickly as possible, then attract firepower and let us enter the field, and I quickly reach the position of the first sniper. I should be able to use their equipment as well. Then I used Maliki's positioning to keep reporting points. I suppressed firepower and asked Liu Dorn and Tang Yuan to find a chance to go too. Get close and chug them. The plan is simple and clear, both in terms of the actual situation and the situation of the team members are the best. Just like scientific research, you can always trust Professor Su in terms of teamwork. The other 3 can always trust Wang Doyu. After being silent for a while, Yuan Farren said something. There was an emergency and Maliki couldn't locate them. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Doyu's calm voice came. It's alright, it should be the ability is limited. The tall phantom above our sky, the so-called god, is getting more and more solid. You can take him and run to the position of the first sniper first. If I guessed correctly, he should be able to vaguely locate him halfway through. Maybe let him kill the sniper himself, and his ability will not only be unblocked, but even enhanced. Good idea. Hearing Wang Doyu's suggestion, Yuan Farren's eyes lit up. Why hadn't he thought of this? Okay, then follow the second plan. After looking at the blaster on his waist, Yuan Farren asked, I have one more thing to ask. How long does your blaster have to cool down? 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, because I am far away. There are not many people near me just now, so the energy consumption of the blaster gun is not as much as you. Wang Doyu explained. As a security officer, he was originally standing at the back. The other 3 were standing beside Maliki at the time. Okay, when I took down the first sniper, the cooldown time of your blaster had expired. At that time, I would attract firepower, and you would suppress the firepower and launch a charge. No problem. In fact, the safest way is to wait until the other 2's blasters have cooled down. However, time waits for no one. Every minute and every second of the battlefield may contain an opportunity, not to mention that the God of Heaven has begun to influence Maliki's power. Turning his head, Yuan Farren used the simplest language and tactical gestures to let Maliki understand his opportunity. The latter nodded. No problem. For him, he wanted to know too, is his ability really suppressed? And he wants to know if killing a sniper who has received a pentagram bonus can evolve his ability. The 2 walked towards the door of the store with a cat on their waist on a clock, one on the roof, 100 meters away. Yuan Farren thought silently in his heart. Just now he asked Maliki if he heard a voice, and Maliki shook his head. Although his ability is limited, the information is not absolutely reliable, but this also has a certain probability, indicating that the sniper in ambush did not leave because they are the attackers. On the opposite side are the defenders, who are most concerned about the time. Hurry. Slowly opening the dilapidated door of the store, Yuan Farren did not make a sound. Turning his head, looking at Maliki beside him, he asked softly, okay, 3, Yuan Farren raised his finger slowly, 2, 1, the moment his fingers returned to 0, Yuan Farren rushed out like a cheetah. Maliki followed with a click of a finger. The shield directly activates the third method. Boom, the air exploded, and golden light suddenly appeared. Chapter 294. Dog Thief, take your life. Can run out, only a few steps. Pen Fun Library. Boom boom boom, several roaring gunshots sounded, and the air in front of the shield was compressed again. In an instant the bullet was riveted and wanted to come in next second. Ding dong dong. This is the sound of bullets falling to the ground, still the same as before. The bullet was blocked. The shield is still strong. Wang Doyu's voice came from the headset. Captain, the sniper distance in the first position has not changed. It is still on the roof. It is good. Having a reliable teammate can make Yuan Farron feel at ease at all times. Above the two of them, the shattered glass kept falling down, the rocks flew, and even a small hole was blown through the ground. Damn. This power is comparable to blaster guns, Yuan Farron cursed angrily. The movements of the whole body are very agile, jumping up and down like a monkey in the face of a sniper rifle with enormous power. This kind of irregular movement is the best way. Although Professor Su's ion energy shield works well but still have to save, the shield warning area has already reminded Yuan Farron at this time. The funniest is Maliki. He didn't have the professional military literacy of Yuan Farron, and now he was able to catch up with the Black Fog. Mutants are different from God's chosen people. The latter can now only choose one of three ways to change, but as mutants can switch between three forms at will, the transformed form happens to be agile. So he can keep up, jump over a car smashed by a single shot, and listen to the sound of bullets falling to the ground in the gap. Yuan Farron calculated the distance in his heart, 50 meters. In fact, he also found an abnormal situation. Under normal circumstances, snipers will quickly run away when they find the location and are ready because their strongest means of killing is to shoot targets from a long distance. Hand-to-hand combat isn't the main and strongest forte. However, the one on the roof was clearly found. Why not run? They even saw the two of them charging over with their own eyes, so there must be a ghost. If it was replaced by other people, this detail would not be noticed. After all, Yuan Farron is not an ordinary person. To be the captain of the lightsaber team, that is quite a pair of brushes. Otherwise, the other three will not be convinced. You can locate no. After turning over another car that used the car as a bunker, Yuan Farron asked Maliki loudly. In fact, just now Maliki wanted to say this as Yuan Farron said, his positioning ability is indeed limited. If the distance is too far, it is impossible to locate at this time. The two were only 30 meters away from the number one sniper. His position suddenly improved. Hearing Yuan Farron's question, Maliki said, together, there are two people, or together, no wonder. Don't run away if found from this analysis. One is a sniper and the other is a escort gun. The powerful explosive sniper rifle is also equipped with special security guards. I really want to kill all the members of the team here. If it weren't for the shield developed by Professor Xu, how would this play? Inappropriate opening, but sorry, you can't afford it, and we can't afford it. Isn't it better than plug-in? We have to. 20 meters. After turning around the street, Maliki took Yuan Farron to the entrance of the stairs and pointed to the roof above with a finger, meaning, the sniper is on it. I looked at the watch on the top of my left hand. The shield warning area above is still in yellow, and the energy value next to it is almost full. Until now, Yuan Farron didn't know that Professor Su's design was great. Once the shield is on, you just can't shoot through the shield with a single shot. The damage you do to me can also recharge my shield energy. Go rogue, go blind. Ha ha ha. Plug-ins are not yours alone. Professor Xu, the eternal god of scientific research, be ahead of me. You follow. The sniper, yours. The other one, mine. Before the strength of the opponent is clear, the sniper is relatively weak. Give it to him easily, and leave the hard stubble to yourself. After all, Maliki is a good comrade we are ready to develop. He is still a mutant with huge potential, and even a god can compete a little bit. But reluctantly, he capsized in the gutter here. Clear. The two looked at each other and nodded to each other. Yuan Farron's countdown to 0 tacitly rushed out. The stairs are made of reinforced concrete which means that the opposite side is destined to suppress fire at the stairwell, and in fact it is in the narrow stair space. Yuan Farron's shield directly opened to the maximum when he raised his hand. The range of the shield was just enough to protect both of them. Deng deng deng. When I just went upstairs, the opposite side was shooting on the roof. Bang bang bang. Bullets poured. Firearms sparked. The surrounding bullets kept hitting the wall and fell to the ground. The speed of the two was very fast, and they reached the second floor in one fell swoop. Yuan Farron's hand had already started to touch his waist, and what was there was a lightsaber. It's not the first time you've had a confrontation with God's chosen people. After a few realizations, the lightsaber squad has had experience. Ordinary firearms are difficult to cause damage to them, even if they are close to their hearts and penetrate the armor formed by the black mist. They cannot kill them in one hit, but if the lightsaber is activated to the maximum oscillation frequency, at such a close distance, if you cut it down, the opponent will either die or be seriously injured. Therefore, for the people in the lightsaber squad, the use of the lightsaber at close range is the most appropriate weapon. The two above saw that the weapon could not cause damage to them at such a close distance, and began to frown. Strange. Why only saw the person who rushed up raised his left hand, and there was nothing. The bullet couldn't penetrate it, and it was blocked by the air in front of them. It's a pity there is only one grenade. I lost it, the sniper next to him said hoarsely. From the tone, it was basically impossible to hear that a human was talking the moment the guards threw it out. Yuan Farron saw the small item in his sharp eyes and guessed it was a grenade, pulling Maliki to stop, pointing to the corner. There, the shape of the shield is inverted. If it is thrown under the feet of two people, Maliki may still be there, and Yuan Farron's body may be missing parts. Maliki, who switched to agile form, reacted instantly, pulling Yuan Farron to the corner. The next second, boom, the surrounding walls were partially blasted, and the walls fell off one after another. "Do you died, should?" Before he could finish speaking, he heard footsteps. The figures of the two suddenly emerged from the stairs. One person shouted, "Dog thief, take your life." Chapter 295 Ability Upgrade. Looking at the two figures that jumped out, the sniper and guard standing beside the corridor were obviously stunned. The grenades that were dropped were not of any ordinary kind. It was added by a pentagram, and compared with ordinary grenades, there was a huge difference in power. But this, even if it doesn't blow up, it should still cause a lot of damage. Why? Not only did the two lack arms and legs, they were alive and well from the moment they entered the street to the present. Yuan Farron and Maliki have been beaten. In other words, the clay figurines will have 3 points of anger, not to mention the warriors who were born for the battlefield, even if it was so far away before. I couldn't touch it anyway now that the distance is so close. It is the submachine gun shooting, or the grenade waiting. If it weren't for the shield, it would have been farting long ago. Can this be spared? Of course you can't let it go. Take advantage of his illness and kill him. Jumping out, while shouting, Yuan Farron touched his waist and drew out his lightsaber. Directly turn on the activation to the maximum oscillation frequency. Buzzing when the right hand held it, the surrounding air was distorted for a while. Guard eyelids twitched, the expression on his face twitched, and he was about to move. The shield in front of him suddenly radiated a dazzling light. At this moment, with a boom, an explosion occurred right in front of his eyes. Before attacking the roof and rushing to the entrance of the stairs, sniper bullets from all directions were constantly hitting the shield. Then the submachine gun fired, plus the last grenade engraved with a pentagram in the end. All the damage is directly full shield feature. Absorb part of the damage as energy and charge it into the shield, and reflect the other part of the damage. It just so happened that at this moment, the reflected damage exploded in front of the two of them. Only at this moment did the sniper's guard react, and the black mist began to emerge. Attempts to transform into armor to block immediate damage. Death to the Lord? Yuan Farron wouldn't give him a chance. His body changed direction in mid-air, his waist exerted force, his right arm was rounded, and from top to bottom, he slashed the face of the guard who was still transforming with a sword. The lightsaber was blocked symbolically, then directly split the guard in half. If the guard has enough time to react quick, use the black mist to transform the armor and advance not so fast. After hesitating for a few seconds, the process of the black mist transforming the armor was first injured by the damage reflected by the shield, which blocked the sound of the armor generation. Finally, it is the lightsaber that is full of the maximum oscillation frequency, so the other side didn't even make a scream. And the person just disappeared. The sniper standing behind stared wide-eyed. "Man, are you gone so soon?" "No way." But just as he touched the pistol beside him, the explosion that bounced off the shield also implicated him. The distance between him and the guard was already close. The reason for this was that in the event of an accident, the guards had enough time to respond to emergencies. This is fine. Standing so close, I was directly implicated by the explosion, especially the sudden dazzling light made him narrow his eyes slightly. As soon as he looked up, he saw Maliki's face that was constantly magnified in front of his eyes. He has seen, to be precise, all of God's elect have seen this face. Just on the wanted list, a bold font at the bottom also reads, "If you can kill it, after the gods come, you will have the opportunity to upgrade to a sacrifice." This is also the reason why all snipers are willing to ambush here. As long as he is destroyed, their status can go further. Then, their group of snipers worked extremely hard, even putting themselves in danger. But when Maliki was not under their sniper scope, he was standing in front of him. Pen Fun Library. He just realized something. Why did the pursuits always fail? Buffer apart from the accident of someone helping, the most important reason is that Maliki's personal strength should not be underestimated. Black mist emerges. The armor covered Maliki's body in an instant, and his hands turned into large swords facing him. "Cut his face off." "I don't," a hoarse voice shouted from the sniper's mouth. Before he finished speaking, in the next second, it disappeared. Like Yuan Farron, who was in action with a lightsaber, Maliki was killed in one hit. Not at all sloppy. The only difference is, after killing the sniper, a burst of black mist emerged from the latter's body. Compared with a patrol team, the black mist that emerged was very thick. They all seemed to have goals circled around Maliki and drilled directly into the body. This is unlike before. This time the black mist penetrated into the body. Maliki immediately had a different feeling. First of all, The positioning that has been restricted all the time is instantly unlocked just as Wang Doi guessed. As a mutant Maliki, how could his ability disappear so quickly? At most it is restricted. The unlocked condition is to kill the snipers who have received different enhancements, like an electrical appliance with per contact. At this time, there is finally a signal. The positions of the remaining 5 snipers instantly appeared in Maliki's induction and seems to be different. Bang bang bang. The roar sounded immediately. The remaining 5 snipers fired at the same time in different directions. Yuan Farron, who was standing beside him, seemed to sense something suddenly and turned around immediately. Lighting ding dong. The bullets of the sniper rifle were all blocked by the shield once again. Fuck. Captain, the one you just turned around is so handsome. As soon as I said it, I was stunned. Powerful. Even Wang Doi couldn't help but praise him. Although the remaining 3 team members are temporarily unable to participate, however, both of them were watching the battle with tactical binoculars. Yuan Farron was silent for a while before speaking slowly. No, it wasn't me just now. Huh? Why is it not you? I saw you turn around. That's right, Captain, you are too modest, but it's not good. No, that's not what I meant, Yuan Farron explained. I mean, at that moment, I seemed to know the positions of all the snipers. The other 3 of the team were stunned. Hey, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Just when they were puzzled, Yuan Farron said, it's Maliki. His abilities have been upgraded. Upgraded? Depend on. Upgraded again. This horse. The mutants are fighting at home in this black fog. In fact, Yuan Farron was able to react in such a short time. It's really Maliki's credit this time. Not only the positioning ability is unlocked, there's also an upgrade. Chapter 296 Spiritual Link. At that moment, Maliki instantly located the 5 other snipers who were still alive at the same time. Because it was relatively close to Yuan Farron, an idea popped up. If only I could share the positions of the other 5 snipers with him. Then, in Yuan Farron's mind, information that had not appeared before suddenly appeared. The surrounding positions have become 3-dimensional graphics, which can be specific to the position of each floor. It's not over yet. Immediately afterwards, the positions of the snipers who were still alive began to be highlighted in red. Even the guard positions next to it are marked. It happened so suddenly, Yuan Farron was stunned for a while. And then he felt the energy of the snipers in those positions began to fluctuate subconsciously. The body turned, the left hand stretched forward, and the shield opened directly. Then, bang bang bang, a few times he blocked the bullet of the sniper rifle, and in the eyes of the other members of the lightsaber squad, the captain turned handsomely, block all attacks from all directions. Because the lightsaber team didn't engrave the pentagram, the black fog wouldn't affect them, not to mention that it will suddenly bring this ability. So, this ability appeared suddenly. The only explanation is, Maliki next to him not only unlocked the positioning ability, but also upgraded it. So, this time is teleportation, Yuan Farron said in his heart. Because the language between them is not the same, daily communication can only rely on the words that Su Zhao has taught before. In emergencies, he can only rely half on gestures and half on brain supplements. This is also the reason why Yuan Farron did not ask Maliki at this moment. A question suddenly appeared. Huh? Can I hear what you're saying in your heart? Yuan Farron was frightened by the sudden sentence, and quickly asked, Gan. Who are you? Me. Maliki. Then, Yuan Farron, who was holding the shield, tilted his head slightly and looked at Maliki with a resentful look. Brother, don't you even know about your awakening ability? Then, the latter said confidently, Hey, that's what I said, it's my first awakening. This ability doesn't come with an instruction manual. Everyone is the first once, how could I possibly know? Gan, sure enough, he was the one who had been with that little mouse for too long. The tone of speech is the same. Not knowing how to respond, he suddenly missed Maliki, who had not been able to communicate so smoothly before. Come here quickly, didn't you hear the sniper gun on the opposite side keep ringing? Oh, yes. It's kind of disrespectful to them just standing there. Maliki lowered his head, leaned over and ran to Yuan Farron's side. The 2 hid behind cover. Before, this position was for their snipers, but now they are 2 people, and the space is just right. Actually, in other cases, if the sniper has not killed the enemy, he will move his position, but this time is different. They are the home ground, above which God is coming. Not long ago, they felt the brilliance of God descending on them, which was also the reason why Maliki's positioning ability failed. Plus, their high priest once said, defend the position, delay the opponent's time, and let God come fully. Afterwards, you can all be gifted by God and become sacrifices. Then, the snipers have blood in their eye sockets, and the top is very high. Don't say anything, now every bullet can't get through, but Just keep shooting. The ability on the opposite side will definitely be exhausted because Su Zhao's safe house exists. Information about the lightsaber squad was never leaked until now, although they wondered why the super powerful sniper rifle bullet with a pentagram could not penetrate the air in front of them, but never thought about technology. After all, there are mutants on the other side. There is no defensive technology in this world that can stop their bullets. The only explanation is Maliki's ability. It is the ability. It can be penetrated. After all, it is only a matter of time. What's more, everyone has this. IDE will definitely not be the first to die. I will definitely be the last. As long as you persevere, you will definitely win. As a result, the mentality of the remaining snipers began to change. As long as I can outlive my teammates, it's a victory. At this time, Yuan Farron and Maliki were attached to the bunker inside. Communicate through spiritual links. So, your newly awakened ability is to be able to pull all the people you want to pull into your heart within a certain distance, and then establish a link. Right, no wonder, I can now communicate with you without barriers, and I dare to use you as a platform. Having said this, Yuan Farron began to understand, so began to convey the news in the headset. I'm going. Ma Jie is so arrogant, no wonder their gods keep shouting, team fights can be lost. And mutants must die for me. Does that mean we can feel the sniper's position as long as we get closer? Yes, it's still a three-dimensional figure, and at the same time, you can know the position of their guards. Yuan Farron began to emphasize, the plan can be better implemented, Wang Doi said. In fact, Wang Doi was still thinking about it in the last minute. What form should be used to locate the other 5 snipers, because they will never stand still and become living targets now. All the problems have been solved. Doyu, has the cooldown of your blaster expired? Alright, well, the 3 of you will lean on me first. Maliki and I will ask you to lean on that side. If nothing else happens, you can link into Maliki's heart after a few steps. It is good. The 3 responded. It was Yuan Farron and Maliki who acted first, because the space for cover here was much larger than they thought. It is estimated that because the guards are all defensive, they are deliberately expanded. The actions of the 2 immediately attracted the attention of snipers in other directions. Bang bang bang. Although the sound of the sniper rifle roared, it still did no harm to the 2. Hurry up. Taking advantage of the gunfire, the 3 immediately ran for a few seconds. Then, the next second, everyone heard Liu Boren's voice. Hey, is there anyone? Can you hear it? Hear a squeak. Gan. This funny. Although no one else spoke, there was a look of contempt on their faces. At the same time, who will whisper with you? As a result, just when Yuan Farron wanted to speak, I heard a familiar squeak. Chapter 297. Sniper Wang Doi was online. Gan. Yuan Farron was stunned. There was a funny member in the original team. Now that Maliki has lifted the seal on words, the team has successfully won 2 funny members. Not only Yuan Farron was stunned, but even Liu Boren was stunned. Huh? I'm just talking about why someone really started. Analytically speaking, the captain is impossible. It was impossible for Wang Doi, and Tang Yuan's tone was familiar to him, so it could only be Maliki. I didn't expect you to be such a mutant with great potential. I thought it would definitely be a serious face, but now to see, similar, squeak. As a result, when Liu Boren just made this sound, the familiar tone came out again. Squeak. Yuan Farron, who was leaning over beside him, turned black. Nima, isn't this tone of voice anxious? To shut up. In the spiritual link, 3 voices were heard at the same time. Then, Yuan Farron said angrily, since it has been confirmed that everyone can enter the spiritual link, then start arranging tasks now. The sniper's position has not moved yet. It seems that they think the sniper rifle will definitely be able to kill both of us. This is good news. After all, the shield's energy is still sufficient to withstand many sniper bullets. It's impossible for them to break in a short period of time. Wait a minute. Maliki and I rushed out directly and took the direction of the 2nd floor at 3 o'clock as a new target. We will definitely become the target. At that moment, you also started to charge, and the target was the 2 on the 3rd floor at 6 o'clock. Sniper. At the same time, Wang Doi adjusted the output of the blaster to the maximum, shot it directly, and suppressed the firepower. Then, the other 2 team members found an opportunity to take it down. Finally, Wang Doi came to my current position, picked up the sniper rifle, and took the place of the sniper. Having said that, Yuan Farron paused for a while and said, does everyone understand? Understood. Guarantee to complete the mission. Captain, I still have a question. What do you think? The captain has always been cautious about Wang Doi's questions because, often the questions he raises are key types of information. How did you use the shield to prevent the bullets of the other 5 snipers? After all, they killed the first sniper on the roof first, then came a beautiful turn to defend. Oh, that? Maliki just explained to me that when the sniper on the opposite side starts shooting, you can feel a part of the energy fluctuate. That's the key to my defense. I see. Then I understand. The other two in the squad also took note of this subtle information for them. This small information gap can determine the direction of small encounters. All the people in the lightsaber squad are the elite of the elite. Don't look at Liu Born being a little funny. If he is serious, he can kill several patrol squads with a lightsaber. Okay, start moving in 3 seconds. Yuan Theron turned slightly to signal that Maliki would follow him later. The latter nodded, and black mist began to appear all over his body after killing the sniper. He not only got the ability of Mind Link, even strengthened the basic ability specifically. He can mobilize 2 strengthening abilities at the same time. Today, he runs fast and has a high defense. 1. When Yuan Theron said these words, he immediately opened his shield and jumped off the roof. The power of the sniper rifle is huge. Even if the sniper is strengthened by the pentagram, in the irregular high-speed movement of Yuan Theron and Maliki, it cannot guarantee that every shot will hit the target, so there must be a missing bullet. A large hole was formed on the top of the house. Yuan Theron, whose physical fitness was outstanding, began to move at high speed among these ruins, using the surrounding walls as cover from time to time. Boom. There were several shots that directly blew the surrounding walls with one shot. Damn it, this power is really going to die. Whoever hits it will get pregnant, Maliki exclaimed. The next second, the tone changed. It doesn't matter, I have Captain Yuan's shield. Please, Captain Yuan, protect me. Sure enough, it was Liu Born who was sealed by words, and on the other side, when the captain drew fire, Liu Born also started. Brothers, let's rush. What are they doing? They dare to be so arrogant with a rubbish pentagram. Is it? No. Do you know that technology is the primary productive force? Our blasters have long been hungry. Go ahead, Mind Link is really useful, Wang Doyu sighed. And then a fish jumped over the wall and ran towards the sniper at the original 1 o'clock position. There was a captured sniper rifle there, and this was the first sniper battle he was about to start with the opposite side. The other 2 teammates targeted the 2 snipers on the 3rd floor at 6 o'clock. Taking action requires him to suppress firepower with a twist of the hand. The output of the blaster gun is directly adjusted to the 3rd energy scala. Buzzing, the faint blue light converges at the muzzle in the roar of sniper shots in the sky. This small voice was completely ignored by everyone. Next second, the thick blue light shot directly and accurately in the direction of the 3rd floor at 6 o'clock. Boom boom, a roaring explosion suddenly sounded on the street. Stones scattered, dust rose into the sky, and the room on the 3rd floor was directly blown into a big hole. Nes, Doyu, your fucking shot is really accurate. Sure enough, snipers are all good at shooting, Liu Born shouted excitedly. Because of Maliki's psychic link, they can clearly locate the sniper's position for Wang Doyu. This is simply a natural target, a favorite of their snipers. The shot of the blaster just now directly blew through the 3rd floor of the opponent. Through positioning, they could even feel that the 2 snipers and 2 guards on the opposite side were directly knocked into the air. This is also the reason why Liu Born shouted excitedly, to start, seriously injure the opponent first. How should I kill them with my lightsaber? It should work now. Wang Doyu turned over and went directly to the roof in the sniper's bunker. Sniper rifles and bullets were lying there. Although the power of the blaster gun is great, it cannot achieve a one-shot kill in the roadway battle just like just now. Although the 4 people were knocked into the air, they definitely didn't kill them. This is also the reason why Wang Doyu did not use blaster guns all the time. However, the shooting accuracy of sniper rifles is different. Once they are shot, they will hit the key points. What if you have armor made of black mist? Didn't get shot in the head by me. Load up, lie down, and adjust your breathing. Sniper, Wang Doyu is online. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 298, Our Overall Advantage. The sudden burst of blue light frightened the other 4 snipers. Their target has always been Maliki, who is fast approaching 3 o'clock. After all, the title of Light Mutator is the object of their attention. The few people who appeared, they had never seen or heard of. Not even their immediate boss has said much. Subconsciously, everyone ignored these people. The sacrifice didn't even say much about the information. It was definitely not important. The ability to block bullets depends entirely on the ability of the mutant Maliki. As long as his abilities are almost used up, a few people will die. Everyone thinks so, but now, a faint blue light appeared, and the entire 3rd floor was blown through. What's going on? Why is there such firepower? Could it be that apart from the mutants, other people have details that they don't know? Now the sniper at 3 o'clock was bitten to death by the mutant Maliki at 6 o'clock. The two people on the third floor were blown away. Only one at the 9 o'clock roof remains, and another at the 11 o'clock roof. The sniper at 11 o'clock began to say through the headset, "You move freely and help the two who were blown up at 6 o'clock. I seem to have seen it just now. Someone ran over there. In this operation, the captain is at the 11 o'clock direction. They are not in random order, to be precise. The closer the distance to the scientific research base, the greater the official position. Pen Fund Library. It is good." The 9 o'clock sniper responded quickly. After all, he also wanted to quickly get rid of the few people in front of him. Looking up, God's coming has reached the final stage. As long as he can hold on a little longer, he will be able to be promoted to sacrifice in the future. The priest once described the beautiful future to them. As long as the gods can come, the brilliance can definitely spread to every corner of the blue star. The technology of the pentagram will definitely be able to crush all the countries on the blue star. At that time, God will have countless affiliated nations, and as the first to lead the gods in East Afghanistan, will surely enjoy the brilliance of being sheltered. All of God's elect have access to the most devout believers. Those with special merits will be promoted from the beginning of a great dream. Only this is the last step. Ending down, sniper number 9 began to move towards sniper number 6. It was overturned. He was still muttering, "It's really an unsatisfactory thing. Why did it go wrong in this last point of view? Also, what the hell is that blue light just now? How can it have such great power? Just moved a step, not even going out of the room." Boom. A deafening gunshot rang out. Snapped. The wall in front of sniper number 9 was directly penetrated. Fortunately, he did not take another step. The bullets rubbed his skin past a piece of clothing was shattered directly, and the bare skin was dripping with black blood. Sniper number 9 reacted immediately and rolled on the spot. "Go straight back to the bunker next to you." What happened? Sniper number 11 also heard the gunshots, and the whole person wondered why someone would snipe them. "Someone used our bullets to snipe us just now." Just as the lightsaber team guessed, the sniper bullets were carved by pentagrams, and their snipers were also professionally trained specifically. Their skin is engraved with pentagrams to strengthen their physical fitness. This is to withstand the recoil of the sniper rifle. And at that moment, although number 9 sniper did not see the bullet that was fired, but during this period of training, something has been in his blood. The familiar roar of gunfire immediately after the walls were smashed. It wasn't their sniper rifle. Who could have this effect? Our bullets. Hearing this, sniper number 11 became a little puzzled. Their guns and bullets are specially made, and even during training, they will be instructed by the priests. Production is not easy. Pay attention to consumption. But today, they only came out with 6 guns. How could it be? And many more. He suddenly understood and asked, "Can you roughly determine where the enemy fired?" "My position is 9 o'clock. Only one step was taken just now." One of the snipers in the two directions was knocked into the air, and the other was frantically avoiding the attack of the mutant. "So, the number 1 position, he is the number 1 position, really?" Hearing this, sniper 11 understood. Loudly in the headset shouted, "It's the team of mutant Maliki, and some of them are snipers. They seized guns and bullets in the number 1 position to suppress firepower." "Hit me, hit the number 1 position hard, sir." "I understand." Sniper number 9 was also angry. "Mad. Labor and management were almost shot here by you. I am a person who will be a sacrifice in the future, and I have the most devout believers. How can I die in this place then?" Wang Doi's shots successfully held off the enemies in the last 2 directions because, on the 11th, he found that sniping Maliki could not kill him immediately after so long. He is still alive and kicking. Moreover, the handover battle with the number 3 sniper has already been conducted in the direction where the dust was constantly rising. The specific location of the target was lost. It is easy to accidentally kill a teammate. After all, they were not so powerful snipers before they were boosted by the pentagram at position 3. That shot directly destroyed the terrain. The 2 people who are approaching are very good at picking positions without even seeing their bodies. How to fight this? So, the best option is to directly kill the new sniper at 1 o'clock, riding on a horse. Why did the situation suddenly become like this? Sniper number 11 licked his lips and cursed angrily. More than a minute ago, the battle situation was still overwhelming, but since that shot was fired, the advantage was directly blown away, and they instantly became the disadvantaged side. What the hell? Where did these people come from? Why? There is such a strong fighting power the other side. At this time, Wang Doi was baring his teeth in pain with his skills. That shot would never miss because, with a spiritual link, It can know the specific location of the enemy. The power of the sniper rifle is so great, but he didn't know until he shot how strong is the recoil of a sniper rifle with such a loud roar. What spicy chicken technology. In terms of weapon power, it is not even as good as a blaster. I can operate the blaster with one hand, but I can't feel it on my shoulder only. A rare smile began to appear on Wang Doyu's face. One blaster, one sniper. If I shoot down these two shots, we have the overall advantage. Chapter 299, it in number 039, S broken. Wang Doyu's shot was also heard by several other teammates. It has to be said that Maliki's positioning ability, coupled with his spiritual link, is a very powerful skill. I'm going. Doyu is amazing. With this shot, the last two snipers on the opposite side couldn't shoot it. One was successfully suppressed psychologically, and the other didn't dare to shoot easily. As soon as he finished speaking, Maliki immediately picked it up. That's not true, even we have less pressure to pursue sniper number 3 now. More fish, stronger, because the 11th sniper shifted his attack target. Much fewer bullets were fired on the shield at this time. The two of them were completely entangled with the number 3 sniper and the guard's Yuan Firin. I don't know why there is always a feeling that the mental link cannot be used indiscriminately compared with Maliki, who lifts the seal of speech. He prefers Maliki, who cannot communicate without barriers. What about sniper number 6? Wang Doyu endured the pain in his shoulder and asked, I haven't got up yet. I guess I was stunned by your shot. To be honest, we all know how powerful the blaster is, the 3rd energy scale, so close. If it weren't for the houses and the bunkers they made, it is estimated that they wouldn't even leave the whole corpse behind. 5 meters left, on the spiritual link, both of them can see that the other side is motionless. Pen Fun Library. Is it a trap? Possible after all. Blaster guns are really powerful, but they lack precision. Can't do one-hit kill according to the captain's news. There are guards. Thick armor should not be. Thinking of this, Wang Doyu turned his sniper rifle around and aimed it in the direction of 6 o'clock. Breathing is steady and heartbeat is slowing. Hi guys, I'm here. Jumping over the broken wall. Liu Boring pulled out the lightsaber from his waist and activated it. Because of the positioning and spiritual link, he clearly knows where the other party is. Just as he was waving his lightsaber to the ground, the black shadow who had been lying down immediately stood up and waved his arms. Boom. The lightsaber was blocked by the fist of the rising shadow. This time, the guards guided out the black mist in advance and embodied the armor. The latter smiled at Liu Boring. His laughter was harsh and unpleasant. You've been tricked. On the other side, the shadow lying on the ground turned over, holding a powerful sniper rifle in his hand. Boom. There was a huge roar, and the sniper rifle fired. The bullet was fired from the number 1 position, passed through the big hole in the wall, flew away from Liu Boring's side, and directly hit the sniper who stood up. The latter had an unbelievable look on his face. Isn't he on the line with number 9 and number 11 sniper? Why did you hit me all of a sudden again? Unlike the last time, this time, Wang Doyu had a precise headshot. The guards next to him were stunned. This sudden change in the battle situation. Mad. How could this be? He clenched his fist and pulled Liu Boring in front of him, trying to block the direction of the sniper rifle. Liu Boring walked along with his body, and with his left hand, he took out the blaster gun from his waist and shot it directly at the guard in front of him as they attacked. The blaster cooldown time was up. Boom, boom. This time it was a succession of gunshots. 1 second apart in sequence. The first shot was fired by Liu Boring at the guard who grabbed him. The shot at the back was fired by Tang Yuan, who rushed over, aimed at the other sniper and guard who got up. It happened that their target was Liu Boring, who was under control, instead of Tang Yuan, who came over. The faint blue light directly penetrated the entire wall. The originally dilapidated room was opened directly at this moment. The other side, there were also 2 sniper shots in succession. It was the number 9 and number 11 snipers staring at Wang Doyu. Who shot the 2 have been staring at Wang Doyu because they have long discovered that in terms of professionalism, the snipers on the opposite side are much stronger than them. Take the example just now. Obviously the opposite direction has been shot in another direction, but the distance moved is very small. It can even be said that there is almost none. The 2 shots that they finally found an opportunity for could not cause huge lethality. In fact, that's exactly what it is. These 2 shots just destroyed the bunker in front of Wang Doyu. Did not shoot him. Come on, Nimas. The leader began to curse. The 2 shots in front of others have already reversed the situation, and the 3 shots just now, the 2 snipers and the 2 guards were all gone. There are only 4 of them left now, 2 snipers and 1 sniper and guard at 3 o'clock. Just thinking of this, I heard a deafening sound. Pen Fun Library. Boom. In the same way, it is a faint blue light beam. It came out from the direction of 3 o'clock. After being stunned for a while, The remaining 2 understood, made. Number 3 was also killed. At this moment, sniper number 9 has no intention of resisting. The whole person is now my great dream. Sacrifices, devout believers, have embarked on great wealth and honor in this life. A few minutes ago, the people in ambush were still talking to each other, boasting. God descends from above, and he watches. With the power of the pentagram, we can kill everyone. It's not easy for anyone to come, but how long from heaven to hell? I thought Maliki, who as a mutant, was the hardest to deal with, but now, Nima, who are these people who suddenly appeared? The weapon is so powerful, the strength is so terrifying, Captain. Or, let's surrender, sniper number 9 said tremblingly. Surrender? You are sick, God is coming soon. We are going to be rich and rich soon, you tell me this now, but, the other side has already killed us. 9's words made him fall into silence. Yes, we really got killed. A stick that emits light and is exceptionally sharp. A firearm that can shoot a faint blue light. The power is outrageous, and Maliki, who can't be beaten to death, no. He now suspects that sniper bullets can't kill Maliki. It may not be the ability of Maliki mutants, rather, some kind of technology they don't know. But, will this technology really exist? Why is there something on the blue star that can defend against pentagram bullets? But, do you really want to surrender? Not reconciled. What's more, whoever said that surrendering the other side wouldn't kill them? The entire street was sacrificed. At this moment, everyone felt the coercion. The remaining 2 snipers raised their heads, stunned, and began to ecstasy. The lightsaber team and Maliki also felt something. Look up at the top, it's broken. Chapter 300. The last part of the project. A week ago, the researchers in an aerospace base in Longuo received orders in the middle of the night. Stop the current experimental research and put all your energy into the construction of space-based weapons, and the space-based weapons must be built in the shortest possible time. At first, everyone thought that the shortest time, let alone a year, definitely need a month. As a result, the last published time is 1 week. When the announcement was made, everyone was in an uproar. Old Lee, take a look at it for me. Have I misunderstood? They all say that the construction time is a week. Old Lee looked up at the bulletin board next to him and nodded. No, you didn't see it wrong. It was indeed a week. No, a week. Isn't this nonsense? I also think, that is a space-based weapon. How can it be so fast? Hey, tell me, is there such a possibility that Longuo has made great progress in space-based weapons before? This sentence made others start to wake up. If you say that, it is indeed possible. If there is construction experience, and Professor Xu is here, it seems not impossible for a week. If this is the case, a new announcement should be released immediately. Someone just finished saying this. I saw a new message scrolling on the screen in the lobby. The original top-secret project 3 years ago, space-based weapons, unsealed. The space-based project carried out in the base this time inherits the project that was stopped 3 years ago. Unfinished samples during the period, as well as the previously disbanded expert group, will enter the venue today. Research base. The drawings of the new space-based weapons project will be designed and modified by Professor Xu himself. Everyone, let's race against time for our frontline soldiers. After seeing this news, the original questioning voice gradually disappeared. Instead, there were excited chatter. I'm going. Longuo has done research on space-based weapons before. It seems that there are still some research results. Maybe the last part of the experiment has not been realized. It doesn't matter. These are not important. You see what I said above? The project research is all inherited, and even the project's expert team is all inherited. Recall. In the end, the drawings were all remodeled by Professor Xu himself, so there is absolutely no problem. I know all this. But, did you notice the last sentence? Soldiers on the front line? So, the space-based weapons developed need to bow him? Who is he? It's worth Professor Xu's caution treatment. Boom, thump thump. There was a knock on the door. Come in, Xu Teng said. Inside the room just now, he read all the blueprints of the space-based weapons in the previous 3 years, and at the same time, he also carried out transformations before he saw the blueprint. He did not expect that Longuo had already done a lot of research on space-based weapons specifically. It's just the last few steps away from success. The hardness of the tungsten rod, the angle of projection. If I really want to describe it, the completion of this space-based weapons project has exceeded 90% of the progress. That is, the last nearly 10% of the project progress was stuck for the Dragon Kingdom at that time. Those were all troubles that could not be solved. That's why the project was stopped. The expert team was disbanded, and all the results were sealed. But those difficulties, For Xu Teng, nothing the hardness of the tungsten rod and the drawings unlocked by the system already have enough solutions. As for the projection angle, Xu Teng just deleted it because, to solve those will involve a lot of small solutions a little too late in time. What's more, when the anti-gravity engine project is completed, he has a better solution to this problem. The office door was opened, and the former head of the base Teng Xianbang and his assistant walked in when Xu Teng applied to Alan Tam for the project, space-based weapons. The other party approved it in seconds. When all the procedures are completed, only then did Teng Xianbang know that such a big thing had happened in the base. There was no dissatisfaction with him. Just a little, sir. Time for space-based weapons, a week. He thought he had heard it wrong, although the secrets of the subsequent part began to be deciphered. For example, Long Guo has been conducting research on space-based weapons. There are a large number of design drawings, as well as a dedicated research team. I heard that the research of the previous project has reached a certain stage. Spend just the last part and it's done. However, as an older generation, he still couldn't believe it. No matter how fast the research is, it will not be enough. It can be completed in a week. Then, he and his assistant came to Xu Teng's office. However, their tasks are different. Teng Xianbang came to see what is Xu Teng's method that can really be developed in a week. The assistant is here to report the work. After the two came in, the assistant tilted his head and glanced at Teng Xianbang. The latter waved his hand and said, "You should report your work first, okay?" Turning around, the assistant stood facing Xu Teng and said, "Professor Xu, everything has been arranged as you said. The expert team is on the way and will arrive in about half an hour. All materials are being transported, at the latest. All work will start tonight, okay?" Xu Teng pointed at the table next to him. "There are 2 documents there. You take one out and copy it, and then distribute it to all the researchers to familiarize them with it, okay?" The assistant bowed, took the document and left. This time, all the scientific researchers in the base are helping the expert team as long as they are familiar with the general manufacturing part. As for why Xu Teng is so confident, on the one hand, it is because the drawings are all complete, and on the other hand, it is nearly 10% of the final construction period of the project. He can directly use the badge to go up. The 2 badges are both group skills. When the assistant left, Teng Xianbang wondered, "Professor Xu, although I have heard some statements about the space-based weapons project, I still have some doubts. How should you complete this last part?" Xu Teng smiled and showed Teng Xianbang another complete drawing. "Elder Teng, the answer is here. Just take a look and you'll know. This drawing is very clear. All places to be noticed are marked. What did the previous project fall short, and what needs to be changed? There is to be abandoned, and there is to be strengthened. The whole thing is crystal clear, simple and clear." In 15 minutes, Teng Xianbang finished it, shocked. That last part, done within a week, seems to work. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.